Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Internet Nobodies.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's been a very, very long time, and this is not Mario Kart.
Yes, it is.
Ooh, we should
Yahoo!
play Mario Kart. What?
It's a me,
Let's go.
Mario.
Let's all go. We are here to discuss
It's me.
God of War Ragnarok. We have all three of us beaten it, I believe. The three of us
Yep.
being Tyr's tiny tamed tiger, Terrell,
Holy shit, that's new.
and the man mooning Manny, Matthew.
What the fuck does that mean?
The fuck did you just call him?
The man mooning Manny. It works because Manny is the god of the moon in Norse mythology.
Oh, I was thinking because Manny is a stereotypically Mexican name. That's the way I was looking at it.
Oh, no.
Handy man.
Exactly.
I mean, if you want to look at it that way, that's fine.
I'll take it.
Anyway,
Yeah, so the three of us have beaten it.
so what did you want to talk about?
No, let's not talk
If you
about
want
it.
to call it that. Oh, what?
It's a lifestyle. I
God of War is a lifestyle? Since when?
since I killed my family. I,
And now wear their ashes?
on my skin, and they are fading. Very significant. We should all go around and talk about our experiences with the game. Matthew, you have gotten the platinum, right?
Yes, I have.
Terrell, what have you accomplished?
Nothing.
I beat the game, and that's more or less
Did you
it.
do any of the post-game bosses, or did you just get hit credits and you're like, okay, I'm done?
I did a couple of them, but I've been playing a lot of games
Okay,
lately,
so you probably
I-
you didn't do too much post-game stuff. All right.
Yeah, I did a couple of the post-game bosses, but generally I was like, okay, cool, done. I will come back to this.
And then you never did.
I have yet to do that.
Yeah, that's about where I am. I've done a little bit of the post-game content, but for the most part, I mostly stuck to the story. I just haven't felt the need to go back to the game.
There was a significant chunk of game there for me to put it down and be like, okay,
The story
I'm
is
good for now.
hefty.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any plans on necessarily how to progress this discussion. I guess we could talk about the story.
Maybe you
a
should
little
have thought
bit.
about that, James.
Yeah,
You know
see,
what? Fuck
all,
you.
All my notes are.
Yeah, fuck you.
I already told
wait,
James
wait,
this.
Okay, no, we're good. We're good. It's past the first 8 seconds of the video. We are good to swear now.
We're all clear.
I already
We
told
don't
James
care.
this, but most of my stuff is about just gameplay. Story, I'll just jump in whenever we get to it.
Yeah, story, I mean, we could do like a quick recap, I guess. Actually, I don't think there is a quick recap for this fucking game.
Yeah, there is. It's on the main menu
You know,
for the first one.
that's the recap for the first.
Okay, well then, okay, we'll do.
How long is that?
It's like 2
video?
minutes. It's real short.
Really? I didn't watch it.
I didn't.
I didn't watch it either.
I watched it after I beat the game.
I didn't see the point. I didn't see the point.
Yeah,
What-
especially like I had just listened to the audiobook for the first game like a couple months ago, so I already knew. It was already fresh for me.
Yeah, I was not gonna replay the first.
Oh,
game.
you didn't play it again? Where's God of Thor review there, James?
I don't blame
ugh.
James if he doesn't want to fucking touch it, because I'll be honest with you right now, I don't think I will ever replay God of War 2018 or God of War Ragnarok.
I might replay God of War
Really?
Ragnarok, but 2018 is
I
low
was
on my
about to
list.
say Ragnarok's got some replayability
So
for sure.
fucking long though.
It is really long.
I mean, to get the platinum.
No, okay. Well, here, I guess I'll just start with one of my like main fucking things. Why do we have to wait for a fucking update to skip cutscenes?
Oh, was that a thing?
Because it's part of the New Game Plus update. That's still not here yet.
Oh.
Because Sony is very, very particular about wanting these things to be more or less cinematic experiences more than.
Then why the fuck don't they make a TV show? Why don't they
gameplay?
make a TV show?
They're working on it.
Tell me that.
They did. They did. It's called The Last of Us, airing on HBO Max.
Well, there's a God of War show coming out on Amazon Prime eventually.
And they're working on a Ghost of Tsushima movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so give us games and make your movies.
All that is, Matthew, is they're trying to keep the tradition of not being able to skip cutscenes in God of War games very consistent.
Why?
Because that is a thing in, like, all of them.
Okay. But one of my fucking most replayed games of all time is fucking Metal Gear Solid 4. And you can skip cutscenes in that fucking game. And that game's got like 7 hours worth.
Oh, yeah. Like, that game is obnoxious with the cutscenes. As much as I liked that game, that's one of the reasons I have not replayed it.
Can you skip cutscenes in Death Stranding?
Yes.
Okay, then I have no argument.
Yeah, well, because they're built around their story, but they also understand that people don't want to watch it every single fucking time they play the game. And for God of War, you gotta wait. You gotta wait for the new game plus that could be thrown together in like a month. You gotta wait for it.
Honestly, I don't understand why New Game Plus isn't
just in the game
out of the gate anymore. That makes more sense than your stupid argument.
Okay, but still, why can't we skip cutscenes? I just want to skip cutscenes. Here's the thing: if I could have skipped cutscenes, I would have played through Ragnarok again before this. Because I would have cut my time down from like 50 some hours down to probably like 20.
Well, just replay it once New Game Plus comes out. I don't understand why it's not in there either. I'm not saying you're wrong.
New Game Plus
for
is
having
gonna
these
suck,
opinions.
though.
I'm not going to touch it again.
I just don't understand why New Game Plus isn't in the game at launch. That should be something that's in games at launch. That shouldn't be a post-game update bullshit.
It should be, but that's what they did with 2018.
Yeah,
it's what they do with most of their games at Sony Interactive these days.
Yeah. New Game Plus is going to suck. It kind of sucked in 2018 because it fell into the same issue.
I never played New Game Plus. What was it like? How did it change things?
So instead of all the enemies being complete damage sponges like they are in God of War mode, they
one shot.
Matt, Terrell, you're going to hate this. They kind of devil trigger after a while. They get like different status buffs. And
like
become damage sponges.
DMC Power Hour.
Welcome to the DMC Power Hour. Today is me and James. We're going to be talking about why is Virgil's dick so small. Now that we got it.
I say false, sir, because in DMC Devil May Cry, the reboot, Virgil has the bigger dick. Boom.
But that Dante is not white hair, Dante.
Donde está mis pantalones?
Who cares?
God, Terrell is spicy. He's like, I've listened to customers all goddamn day.
He came in here with some anger. He's beating his husband over there. Everything's just going downhill.
Yeah, his Rage of Sparta mode is sass.
Oh, actually, speaking of Rage of Sparta, why would you use it? Like, genuine question. Because every time I used it, it felt like it didn't do shit. Neither one of the three modes.
I really liked...
Are you fucking... I'm sorry, are you stupid?
No, like, straight up, because I guess it...
No, you shut up. You shut up for like 5 minutes now.
For 5 minutes.
The healing thing from the Rage of Sparta is fucking amazing and saved my ass more times than I can
What difficulty did you play on?
Played on fucking
That's
normal.
why. Because they do less damage on normal.
I mean, that being said, I played on hard, and I really liked the healing one. Valor, I think it was called.
The healing one was Yeah, Valor was fucking amazing. It saved my ass.
Okay, but...
It saved my ass more times than I could fucking count.
I felt that it was weak compared to one of the armor sets that used your Rage of Sparta as a secondary health pool.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah. If you had full
died.
Rage of Sparta, you did more damage. And if you got hit and your health went to below 0, it would take it from your Rage. I felt that was way more impactful than any Rage of Sparta upgrade or power in the game.
Okay. But mind you, James and I did not find this We did not have
Oh yeah,
it.
because you guys weren't going for everything. You guys
knowing
didn't go.
Knowing about this, I agree
better.
with you. I agree with you if I had it, but without that, give me Valor every day of the week.
I will say though, the most useful
Valor
one for me is the big damage dealer.
That one was cool. I liked that, especially because there were unique death animations.
Yes, and you had a little bit of invulnerability when you popped it, so that was the big oh shit button for me if I did use it.
Fair. Can I jump in with something here? Some of the normal enemies felt to me more difficult than some boss fights.
I think that always happens in God of War. I don't know if you agree with me on that.
I couldn't tell if I was just getting overwhelmed with enemies because there would be like 5 or 6, and I'm like, fuck, shit.
James, I don't know if you agree with me, but satyrs in the original games, I can't.
Oh, they sucked.
They felt like bosses.
They were cool in Chains of Olympus because they were just normal fucking enemies, but in like 1 and 3, they were terrible.
And 2.
Most of my deaths came from normal enemies.
Yeah, I would agree.
Absolutely.
The final boss.
The final boss was not.
Final boss was kind of a pushover.
He was a fucking pushover. The Thor fight was easier than some of the random enemies in the overworld.
The Thor fight at the end of the game felt easier. I mean, I'm sure it's because you have late game items, but it felt easier than the one at the beginning. Because his moveset was.
I think that was intentional.
I know, but his moveset was exactly the same. They didn't change anything. Or at least I don't think they did.
Yes, but you became more powerful. It was intentionally done. They made him more difficult in the beginning of the game to make him seem stronger than you, even if you were better than him. That it was an intentional thing.
Well, then.
I mean, you could also see
show
okay, actually, I do see what you're saying, because then you kick his ass really easily. Odin fucking murks him, and Odin's supposed to be the big bad. But then why was the Odin fight kind of like the same level of difficulty? If that's what they're going for.
I'm not gonna lie. That's what I felt that with all of the boss fights. I thought all the boss fights were easier comparatively.
Although I will say the Heimdall fight was probably like the coolest one.
The Heimdall fight was like my favorite.
I loved killing that little shit.
That
was the highlight of my game.
I will say, the whole Thor being easier as a late game boss makes sense story wise as well.
Yeah, I didn't think about it like that.
Kratos is embracing older Kratos a little bit more toward the end of the game. Which
but he's also keeping him in check, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
to see him more or less accepting his past, accepting who he is,
forgiving
a bit more,
himself,
and instead of
it's not a redemption story.
Restraining it. He's using it, but he's using it productively instead of destructively.
Right, that's something I liked about this game. It wasn't trying to redeem Kratos necessarily for the last games or anything, because honestly, considering he completely destroyed Greece,
I think he gave them what they deserved, and that he should be forgiven for whatever the fuck he did before he killed an entire pantheon.
But I don't think Kratos can necessarily.
I think he should be worshipped.
But this wasn't a redemption story for him. It was more of like an acceptance story. He has accepted who he is,
and he didn't really even start that until the end of God of Thor.
Right, which worked very well thematically because he did kind of start that. Like when you need to get the blades of chaos to save.
Well, I wouldn't even say that. I would say he first actually accepts it when they're in Jotunheim and he takes off his fucking his wrappings or whatever.
I'd say that was him starting to forgive himself.
Oh, forgive
which
himself.
Goes with it.
Okay.
Which does absolutely go with it.
I always saw the when he grabs the blades as like, oh shit, like I need to fucking care. I need to think about my son, and I need to put my issues aside for him. That's what I think of that as.
I think that's his first step towards like accepting like what he has done, especially when he tells Athena like, "But I am your monster no longer." But then then he needed to start forgiving himself and then truly accepting what he used to be.
Right, and that's really driven home when he is with what's her name?
Faye?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, can I just say those were
because
great fucking scenes.
They were.
I will say
I wish he
they were
talked
some
a
of the
little
most
more in them.
powerful
Like,
ones in the
I
game.
get
Yeah.
Kratos is very. He's very
He's a man of few
particular with his
words.
words, but I felt like she was just having an entire conversation with herself in them.
right, it's not really showing like why Faye would even, want to be with Kratos.
Or-
It's
or-
just,
or-
oh, I'm just talking to myself.
Or maybe it's just because it was like Dream Kratos and actual Kratos was like talking back and we don't know.
I mean, we know that real Kratos wasn't talking back, let's be honest here. Like, he didn't say shit until he started saying boy. Like,
That's true. he was preparing for the QuickTime event.
he was.
And yet I follow.
I will say, I was not into the idea of Kratos dying at the end of this game. But I came around to that idea more, especially as they showed Faye, as he started to resolve his issues with Atreus and be a little more personable with all the side characters, which the side characters were awesome in this game.
Oh my god, I liked having more variety than just the fucking dwarves, because that's really all it
yeah.
was. It was the dwarves and Freya.
Yo, can we talk about the dwarves though?
In a minute.
They were a lot more fucked up than I realized.
They are. And honestly, like, because that's part of something I want to talk about, that being the tier reveal. Yeah, there's a lot going on with them.
But generally, I feel like this story really got you prepared for Kratos to die.
But then it subverted it by him not dying. Which that's a whole nother thing with the whole Mjolnir.
Okay.
I would argue that he did die.
What do you mean?
Like old Kratos dying and now he's a new man.
Yeah,
Ugh.
he's officially now something new.
Fuck that. Like, obviously that's a valid
past die.
interpretation.
Shut the fuck
but
up,
I
Adam
hate
Driver.
that.
Okay, I don't. Well, because people, they don't just like. You can't just kill parts of yourself. You just have to.
If you do, you turn
Go.
into Brock. Like,
But I mean, I could see why you say that, because obviously Kratos in this game, even at his worst, is nowhere near fucking God of War 3 Kratos.
right? Who you could argue is at his worst. Like, yeah, I do appreciate though that they warm you up to the idea of Kratos dying.
I never thought he
And
was gonna. There's no like.
They were hinting at it though, even with the whole like Nornir, like, oh, it's up to you. I fucking hated that.
Dude, okay, hold up. The whole thing with Fate, right? Because you know how they go to the Norns and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's not that we make it, it's that you're so predictable, blah, 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 right? God of War 2 showed us that Fate doesn't mean jack shit.
Okay, so I wanted to bring that up, like specifically that is. So in the game, it's basically shown that the fates don't really fucking matter. Like they control shit.
For the
Kratos,
Norns?
for some reason, can
For the Norns or the sisters?
The sisters. Like I'm talking God of War 2 specifically.
All right.
It's shown, and Terrell just doesn't fucking know.
I have an idea.
Kratos kills the Sisters of Fate at the end of the game, at the end of God of War 2, even
Right.
though they clearly
Well,
they're like, no, we don't want you to kill us.
But no, aren't the Sisters of Fate like straight up like some of the strongest beings in Greek mythology, considering the fact that they can control time?
Right, like they're subservient, or even like the gods.
Even the gods
not
and the
necessarily
Titans are
subservient. But they're
they have
like,
to
reverent of.
Yeah, they have to fucking answer to them basically.
Right. So in God of War 2, Kratos kills the Fates, kills the Sisters of Fate, or at least kills one of them and sends the other two through like
they're effectively dead, I would say.
They're effectively dead.
Yeah.
For intents and purposes. I think Cory Barlog has said that they're not dead, because he directed that game, but that's a whole other. So in the game, it's shown that their will essentially does not matter, at least regarding Kratos, because they've wanted to stop him the whole time. Mm-hmm. In the book, in the God of War 2 novelization, they explain why, at least a little bit. It is because one of the sisters, Atropos, I believe, she starts to meddle with Kratos' timeline a little bit without the consent of the other sisters. And because of that, it caused instability, which then allowed Kratos to kind of slip outside of their grasp and then cause them to, get murdered. I like that. I like that explanation for that because that was a big plot hole that I had for the series up to this point.
I mean, personally, I just think it's because Kratos just didn't care about who they were. Because everyone else that tried to get the sisters to change their fate, they asked. They didn't just try to do it.
Right.
I personally like to think that he's the first person that actually was like, okay, I'm doing it. Stop me.
I mean, that's a good explanation, too. It just doesn't make sense for if they are so powerful that they could be stopped by Kratos, especially at this point where he is no longer even technically a god. Because he doesn't have the Blade of Olympus back yet.
Yeah, he's just fucking strong.
He is fucking strong. So with the Nornir in this game, the whole explanation of, it's just because you're so predictable, we can lay out a path for you and you will follow it. It just feels so hollow to me. Like, it feels like they didn't even try.
Okay, my biggest problem with it is that after they visit the Norns, until the end of the game, it's a whole, we're breaking fate. Oh, we're following fate, brother. Oh, we're breaking fate. It's just that constantly. And then by the end, it's like, we broke fate or whatever the fuck. Like, we did it. But then, no, you didn't break fate because Faye saw this. So what's the point?
Right. And also, it sucked, too, because there was, like, a good hour leading up to finding the Nornir. Like, or at least an hour of just, like, we're gonna go see them, and I was expecting, like, something fucking cool or revelatory.
It's just some fucking ugly-ass trolls.
Right. Just them being like, it's up to you. It's like, that's not nearly as satisfying as, like, a confrontation would have been. I'm not even saying fight with the
exactly. They don't. He didn't need to. It's just have him be something other than go do it or don't. We don't care.
Right. Even if they had just commented on the fact that Kratos defeated the fates of the Greek lands, like that would have given me way more out of that interaction.
I mean, Kratos should have known that that anything that controls fate doesn't really matter. Considering what he did, yeah.
Yeah, not to him.
And I know it was about Atreus, but, I mean, Kratos isn't stupid.
He isn't. He isn't stupid. Yeah, the whole Nornir thing honestly really sucked. I almost would have preferred if they had just left that out of the game.
And it's like a solid, like, almost hour of gameplay that isn't the most interesting, too.
Right, and like the whole like getting onto the Kelpie and like going into the ocean, like that was fucking like that was pretty cool. But then it's just we were given what we were given and it sucked. It could have better talked about one of my main issues with the God of War franchise as a whole.
Is what just fates? Just how fate works?
Right, but it didn't. Because, we have the whole issue of, Greek lands versus Norse lands versus even Egyptian lands. Like, how do they interact? We got nothing like that. Mm-hmm. Nothing. Though I will say I do like a lot of these small bits of dialogue throughout the game between like Kratos and Mimir and Freya and Atreus.
Oh my god! If it weren't for the fucking dialogue between those three, or 4, whatever, depending on who your partner
Right.
is. I would not have been able to platinum it.
A lot of them are really good because I didn't play as much of the post game as I wanted to. I missed a lot of it, but a lot of them popped up on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it, like Kratos explaining why he can't use any of his Greek magic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, I like that because
makes sense.
because the lands died, his magic died basically.
Or even if
Like, I like
even
that.
if
Hey,
even
did
if
you
his
ever
land
see
isn't
the,
dead, they don't worship those beings anymore, God or Titan or whatever. So it would make sense.
Right.
Did you ever see the clip of the audio clip of the Easter egg about PlayStation
Yes.
All-Stars Battle Royale?
Yes, I did see that.
The world's greatest musician.
How did that make you feel?
The fact
How
that
did
it's
it make you
canon.
feel? James.
It's canon now.
Yeah. It's canon. That shit's canon.
It made me really happy to see that. I will say I really liked the books that you found through the game. I didn't realize that they were PlayStation Easter eggs.
Oh, you read those?
I didn't read them. I saw them though.
Oh.
I mean, I read everything, but I didn't read that deep.
Oh. You just skimmed
But
it.
It was like a skim for like
Yeah,
information.
just like, oh, what is
Right.
this? Oh, cool.
But I saw it.
Yeah.
What really struck me about that, I didn't realize that they were like Easter eggs for other PlayStation games until I got the Bloodborne book. Because it has the fucking logo on there. I'm like, wait, is
Does
that the
it?
fucking Bloodborne rune? Like, and then I saw something online. It's like, oh yeah, those are straight up, like, that's Ratchet and Clank, that's Uncharted. Like that shit was cool.
I mean, it's
I do
cool,
also-
but it is cool. But fucking, what was the game that came bundled with the PS5?
Astro's
Yeah, I
Playroom.
felt like that did it a little better. I understand why, like, the references are so subtle, but it kind of got our little reference game.
It's
We did.
well, the thing is with Astro's
Playroom.
you are literally inside the
Yeah.
PS5. That is the premise of the game. So of course they're going to fill it with a ton of Easter eggs.
Right, and if they went too
They
ham-fisted...
would have been doing as stupid if they didn't.
If they went too ham-fisted
with God
on
of
that,
War-
with that, it would have
God
been,
of War,
like,
it
really
couldn't have
weird.
just put fucking Solid Snake in and be like, Solid Snake, it's snaking time. You know, they can't do shit like that.
You can't just have Kratos fucking walk around the corner and then they just start playing One Winged Angel and fucking Seth Roth is just there like, I am here to kill you.
I mean, he wasn't in
Kratos."
Kingdom Hearts 3, so they got to put him somewhere.
Ratchet and Clank had these little Easter eggs too. There was a Keyblade in Ratchet and Clank.
Right. Well, and even if they had
So-
gone like super subtle about it, like if
Well, they already
like,
did
you
it
had
pretty
seen, like
subtly.
Ratchet and Clank, like falling from one rift into another in the sky,
That was-
just because, like that'd be so immersion
It's a 1 in a
breaking.
1,000
Yeah,
chance
yeah.
to a
You're
1 in a
right.
1,000 chance to see it. But yeah, it would have been immersion breaking. Whereas the books being references to the games, that's a lot.
it's
more
it's a nice little
tasteful,
touch, yeah.
But it's also nice.
It is nice, and it goes with a lot
it-
of the other. I think it goes with a lot of the other relics too, because those were Ivaldi's poems, I believe. It kept everything feeling very in-world while also having it be fun nods. You know, like just not making it just.
I get what you're saying.
obnoxious.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Okay,
Because yeah, we could have had Ratchet and Clank come through a fucking rift.
yeah, just high up in the
But
sky.
I feel like there
that
would've been
distinct
more-
purple,
There could have been
like-
some dude fist going fucking elbow deep in a fucking pig, you know. Just random
Right.
PlayStation references.
There's just a man walking in the distance with the backpack on. And it's stacked like 4 boxes high.
You know,
Is
I,
that
just
Norman
started
Reedus,
playing-
the amazing fetus?
Amazing fetus.
I just started playing
Yes,
Bloodborne around the
exactly.
girlfriend, and I fisted the pig in the sewers, and she was like, "Why would you do that?"
Why not?
Because it does the
Because
most
I gotta
damage.
kill
It
it.
drops like 1,000 blood echoes. It's worth it.
You gotta kill it, man. You gotta kill it.
You gotta kill it. All right, I don't even know how we got on. This
I don't
part
fuck
of the
books.
though
That's
the
why
side
books.
the side
Books,
conversation.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Side conversations,
Yes.
side quests. it's not. They're not that interesting. I don't think. I feel like the
They're
main
not.
game is where they put all the. Well, of course they put most of the effort towards the main game, but the side content, I felt like it was just there to be there. And the only reason I did it is because I like the God of War series so much. I felt like I should have gotten the platinum.
Right, I'll get the platinum eventually. I just haven't felt the need to go back to it.
Realistically, the side content is there for that added dialogue and immersion. That's
actually, there is one set of quests that I did really appreciate, and that was when you're in Vanaheim and you get to the crater area. I forgot what it was called or whatever. But you have to go around. You have to kill a bunch of dragons in order to to restore the ecosystem of the area and to fix everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty cool. It felt like it could have been part of the main game.
It could have been. I will say, there's not a ton of side quests in the game, at least as far as I've seen, which is nice. It seems like there's fewer than even 2018.
And 2018 was just talking
There
to a bunch of
is.
ghosts.
Right. Which we did get that a little bit.
Well, of course, it's the same engine.
They're
gonna reuse
Right,
stuff.
there's only so much they can do. I guess speaking of, the same engine, I do want to talk about, the fast travel system again.
What of it?
I hate... And I was thinking about this while I was playing, because I played for an hour before hopping on. I hate the whole having to go to the gateways in order to fast travel out of a place. If they had just made it to where you could fast travel out of a place anywhere, but you have to fast travel to the gateways, that would have made it way better. Because where I was at
But James, it's a one-cut camera angle. You can't break it.
You can't do that.
Can't do that. Even though they cheated, they cheated with the fucking Kratos and Atreus wall punching. That shit doesn't count. You're not
It doesn't
slick.
count.
Fuck you. That does not
I will
count.
say,
This is a two camera cut game.
I love how much effort they put into that. But it doesn't work.
No, it does not work. This is a two camera cut game. You cannot change my mind.
But no, so I hated that. Hopping on just now, I was at one of the Berserker grave sites. I hadn't played this game in a fucking month. I couldn't fucking fight them, so I wanted to warm up with something. So I had to work my way out of the apple core. And,
Oh my
into the
fucking
rear.
god! I hate that place.
Yeah, I had to work my way out of there just to get to the gateway to go somewhere else for a little bit. It's if you had just given me the option to fast travel out of there, that would have been way better. Just make it to where, even if that's a post-game, you can fast travel anywhere because maybe Odin restricted that or something, that's fine.
I feel like they could have done that. If you beat the story, they should just let you play the video game as a video game. Because Spider-Man Remastered, they got rid of their immersive fast travel system.
Right, especially with the PS5, just being able to just load immediately.
So I felt like
at
least post game they should have just let you do whatever the fuck you want. It's a fucking video game.
Right.
You beat the story. You saw the movie.
I'm not super opposed to the whole traveling between the worlds thing. I'm not opposed to that. It's just having to go to the gateway. Especially somewhere in Nidavellir. That sucked. That's one of my annoying parts that I only thought about while I was just playing.
I mean, for me, the fast traveling, I hated that you could not finish your fast travel until the characters were done talking.
Right, and it would even do that if they didn't talk.
Because you know damn well the PS5 was already done loading. You knew it was done, and it's just not letting you go.
Yeah.
You want to know how you would know it was done loading?
How?
I ran a full fucking circle in that bitch.
I just stopped moving. I just
There's
go
no
in
point.
and I just stand.
In the world between worlds,
Yeah.
or in the realm between worlds, yeah. I ran a whole. I did a lap.
Yeah, but then other times
I
you
kept
load
track
and
of
it
where
loads
I
in
started.
2
Well,
seconds.
yeah. Once you start doing post game stuff, fast travel is fast travel. But while you're doing the story, it's like, okay, I get it. The PS4 is a little slow, but just let me go and don't let me interact with anything when I get to the other side so I can at least get out of this stupid fucking magically time-wimey bullshit.
No, that's what I'm saying. It was fucking dumb. I was able to run around that time-wimey bullshit realm between realm. I was able to run a full lap in it because they were talking before I was able to go through.
Fucking goddamn PlayStation 4. I blame it for everything.
Oh. Let it die, let it die, let it shrivel up and die. Fucker's 10 years old. It's time.
But in terms of performance, because it's a PS4 game, it ran real nice on the PS5.
It did run real nice.
Really
what was it?
Nice
It was like a
PS5.
locked 1440p 60 FPS for the performance mode.
Yes.
That shit is nice.
Like, there were some, like, frame dips, but not many.
There were a couple, but you barely notice them. It's only when you're doing, like, heavy rune attacks and shit.
Yeah.
I never noticed them. Not even once.
I mean, I wouldn't be. I honestly
noticed.
don't even blame you because the game just feels so nice when you actually are playing it.
Yeah. You want to know one thing that annoyed me?
No.
And this is just a gripe. Fuck you, Jim. This is just a gripe about the PS5 in general.
Oh, what of it?
When the controllers are getting close to dying, they start eating button inputs.
Do they?
They do.
Mine don't. Not that I've noticed. I've been playing a lot of Devil May Cry, where, like, if it eats button inputs, it's super noticeable.
It might just be yours, because I don't think I've ever had an issue like that.
It's wild because and maybe it's a placebo, but I've talked to a couple of people at work that have come through, random customers, and I've asked, and they've been having the same problem. But I was going through doing a boss fight, and I'm like, I know damn well I hit block. I'm like, I looked at the controller and I watched myself hit the button. And it didn't.
You know what?
Do it.
You might be right, because I'm thinking the entire time I played Ragnarok, I was plugged in.
Yeah.
And that's why
that's
why I don't see it. That's why I didn't see it.
I did notice.
And then I would put the other. I would swap controllers.
And it would be fine.
Perfectly fine.
Thing is, I would notice in Ragnarok that some of my inputs would get eaten. But it didn't matter whether or not my controller was charged or not, or even what controller.
Well,
Every once in
for
a while,
me,
like,
it
a
was just
block
like
would
with
be
like
eaten.
sprinting and stuff, like mid combat. But I felt that was just because the game is just a little clunky.
I think it's just I want to attribute that to just flaws in the combat engine.
Honestly, I wish they would have overhauled that a little bit. In hindsight, I thought it felt great because it was
Because it
literally you
worked.
could just pick up and
yeah,
keep
it
going
worked in the last game.
because it works.
Yeah.
But it you know, in retrospect, I wish they would have refined it a bit more because there was some refining.
I appreciate what they did with the ability system, where the more you use a thing, you can put upgrades into it and then eventually give it like a special property. I liked that, but in terms of actual combat variety, it was very stale up until you got the fucking spear.
It was.
Yeah, I agree.
That being said, though, even with like the chains and the axe, they did add a little bit of combat depth, which was very welcomed. Like the combat in this game is way better than in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fact that you do get the blades and the axe,
It
at
feels
the
the
beginning,
same. It feels
I have
the
a
same
question. Did you
to me.
guys use gyro at all?
No.
No.
Okay, because I felt gyro in terms, at least for the axe and the spear, it made the actual ranged attacks, usable mid-combat. Because in 2018, I barely threw the axe after I'm like, ooh, fun!
I'll have to give that a shot.
Dude,
I
Get good.
If God of War Ragnarok did not have gyro, I would have shot myself playing Atreus' sections. I do not like them.
that's another topic. But as far as the combat depth, Terrell, I do understand what you're saying. As far as like it feels the same, and it does,
because it is
but
the
there's
same.
it is the same. But there's a few things that they've added and tweaked that really improve the depth, like having the different rage modes, having the
That's fair.
L1 circle like relics or whatever, having them do a lot more different effects.
Yeah.
So the overall depth of the combat did get increased, which I appreciate. And then once you get the spear, like that's increased even more so.
I love that.
I
feel really like that spear, man.
I feel like it's too much of an overcorrection because once I got the spear, it was really hard to just not use it for everything.
There was a couple of times where I was like, okay, the spear is just not built for this enemy, and I would need to switch it up. But in general,
oh my god, wait!
I just kind of wish they would have refined it because it was like clunk.
Wait.
Like there was this jank that I couldn't explain, but it was like just it felt like the only way I can describe it is it's kind of God of War jank, 2018 God of War jank.
Is that why they had elemental enemies that you couldn't just beat on them with one fucking weapon to
it
encourage
made it
variety
to use the other weapons? My issue is
that's not a good solution, I don't think, but
it's not.
No, it wasn't a good solution, but I'm just talking about in general, like, there was some enemies that I just preferred to cleave.
I do get that. There are some situations where one weapon works better in terms of fucking hit stun or keeping them at range.
And crowd control. And yeah.
But I felt because the most of the game until the very post fucking game whatever, I didn't use the axe. I was just Blades of Chaos and spear the whole time.
So I tried to use Blades of Chaos as much as I could. There were points where it would just not let me. Like legit, like the Blades of Chaos would cause me to die, and I'm like, this is
because a lot of their special attacks lock you in animations.
Exactly.
They do, but I do appreciate the fact that they will usually stagger enemies out of their attacks.
Mm-hmm. Well, the axe is way
issue,
better at that just because it's a little heavier.
It is. My issue with the three weapons. This is just me personally. I do prefer the Blades of Chaos a little bit more, partly because I'm nostalgic for the old
exactly.
games.
That's why I used them.
And that's why I love the Blades of Chaos. They were my favorite weapon by far until
you get this fucking spear.
The problem is,
for me,
dude, that spear is fucking
spear is
great,
really
okay?
good.
For me, I do like the drop near spear. Part of my issue is that all three of the weapons do feel kind of samey. So I would like switch to one, and then I would just keep using it because I didn't want to switch to something else.
Is it because none of them had a unique thing? I guess besides drop near with the exploding spears, like they all had a light rune, a heavy rune attack. Like they all had a hold triangle gimmick.
I honestly think that may be why, even if, James, you have a different reasoning, I think that might be one of the problems I had, personally. Because, Jesus Christ, those, and I think that's a failure on the combat engine not being refined more, is you felt like you were just hitting shit. Didn't matter what you were hitting shit with, you were just hitting shit.
Right. Honestly, I know it's not very immersive anymore, but if they had just had something like an actual combo, like a hit counter or something, that would have made the combat a little more
Nobody
entertaining.
wants to make arcadey games anymore for some fucking reason.
I know, but having a basic one hit, 2 hit, 3 hit thing, that would have been like, ooh, let's see how high I can get.
I rebuttal with Hi-Fi Rush.
Haven't played it.
Was that okay? Who made it?
Tango Gameworks.
Were they purchased by Microsoft?
They were purchased by Bethesda,
who was purchased by Microsoft.
So,
okay, that makes a little more sense. I guess I should have said no big game studios want to fucking waste time with arcade games anymore. It has to be immersive.
Dude, I'm not going to lie, this is It's technically a AAA title.
I mean, technically, but it wasn't made by Bethesda or Microsoft.
I mean,
it was just funded.
I mean, Tango Gameworks made fucking Ghostwire Tokyo. That was a AAA title.
Like,
Yeah,
I knew of it, but I didn't play it.
Tango Gameworks is a AAA company.
Okay, let me rephrase. Sony doesn't want to make arcade games anymore.
Well, that's because of the success of The Last of Us, and that's just something we have to. That's just something we're gonna have to deal with.
I still have not played The Last of Us, and I don't know. It started all this. It started this bullshit.
It has started the cinematic arc of Sony games. Because if it's not a 90, it's not a success.
I'm glad somebody's doing it. I'm glad somebody's doing it, but a lot of games nowadays are just immersive experiences or live service, and it's
the live service bubble is popping, and that's fun. But like Days Gone, phenomenal game. Somewhere between the arcadey zombie shooter, because there's 1,000 fucking zombies running at you, and a cinematic experience. It technically was, as far as Sony's concerned, it was a flop, and they're not getting another game. And I'm kind of mad about that. That game is fantastic.
Isn't that the same game where the director was like bitching and moaning that people bought it when it was on sale?
Yes, and that's not my point, because fuck that guy. He's a little whiny bitch boy. I won't lie. He is literally a little whiny bitch boy, because he's like, you guys are the reason I'm not getting another game.
No, it's because Sony's standards are so fucking high that they won't accept anything less than perfection.
It's because their marketing for that game fucking sucked. Everyone just thought it was The Last of Us Part 2, but then when they saw it wasn't, they stopped
The only
caring.
thing I knew about it is it was motorcycle.
That's all I know about it.
It's part of the PlayStation Plus collection. Matthew, give it a shot. It's a pretty fun game.
I'm not giving Sony money. I'll just buy it on Steam. Well, I mean, I'm not giving Sony PlayStation Plus money. I'll just buy it on Steam if I want to play it.
Fair.
I don't even want to give fucking Nintendo money, but I have a bunch of leeches to take care of.
Love you. Can you upgrade me so I can get the GBA experience?
Unless you're gonna start fucking paying some child. Unless you're gonna start paying some child support around here, I ain't fucking getting that expansion pass. You could eat a dick.
I expected you to let it lapse this year.
No, if
I was just gonna buy
if
my
it lapses
own.
and I don't notice, just hit me up. I'll pay it. It's $35. It's not gonna fucking kill me.
But Matthew, if you upgrade us to GBA, we can play Mario Kart Super Circuit online.
No.
With terrible netcoding.
No. Fucking. Do you remember 3D World, sir?
The one video we did, yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's a reason there's only one video. Telling you that right now.
Well, and
it's time to get back to God of War.
We do need to get back to God of War.
Okay, so getting back to it, the realms. I think they did a better job with all the realms in this game.
Because you don't have to sit through a fucking 3-minute long animation, or what do you mean?
Every realm felt unique. That was an issue that I had with 2018. Like,
what realms did you think were similar in that one?
It's more so just like the design of the areas, especially because they used the Bridge of Tyr as a focal point for all of them. Like Vanaheim felt very similar to Midgard.
Wait, did they go to Vanaheim? No, I don't think they did.
Alfheim. Sorry. Alfheim felt very similar. Just because it's focused around the Bridge of Tyr. That the same goes for Niflheim. Same goes for. Actually, that's like it, because we didn't go to that many realms in 2018.
It might have just been because there wasn't. It might have been because they just looked similar, and that was probably it.
And I mean,
The
that is part of it.
designs in 2018 were very similar.
Niflheim was really boring. It was just Midgard, but with pink mist.
We just fog.
Uh-huh.
Which doesn't even make sense for the mythology. Like, this is something that
I did like the realm
mythology
gameplay
was
wise.
better.
I liked the realm up until you unlock the armor, and then the realm's not interesting anymore. But I did like it up until you started opening chests.
I liked the idea.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, I think Ragnarok does the realms way better. Even if some of them do look aesthetically similar, they feel way different. Like,
I mean, yeah, Niflheim and Helheim kind of have the same thing going on, but in terms of atmosphere, they are completely different.
They are completely different. Niflheim, that one, though, Niflheim and Muspelheim make sense because those are like the primordial worlds of frost and fire.
Mm-hmm. But Helheim just felt like dreary.
It did feel dreary, and Vanaheim feels like a giant jungle, like a giant, humid, muggy jungle.
And then you get to the fucking crater area, and then it's just desert.
It's just desert. Alfheim, the area that we saw in Alfheim was, I mean, it was a desert too, but it was
being
very
a knight did help.
different than what we saw in Night did help. Even like Svartalfheim, it being like marshes was very interesting.
All industrial.
It was sad too, with the giant like creature in the lake.
Can I quickly just jump in
No.
and say, you saying Haim instead of Heim is bothering me immensely.
That's fine.
I mean, it's just a pronunciation thing.
It's a pronunciation thing. I got it. I say it because back in high school I was very into reading about Norse mythology because I'm a fucking nerd.
That's why you say Heimdall.
That is why I say Heimdall. It's because this website that I found, that is part of their pronunciation guide. They don't say Heim, they say Haim. Like, and I'm not even entirely sure where they got that distinction from, but that is how they say it in that pronunciation guide on that website.
I'm sure if in another fucking universe that's exactly the same as ours, except in God of War 2018 and Ragnarok, they say Haim instead of Heim. That's probably
right.
Like, it's such a small thing that, like, yeah, I can kind of get like why it's like bugging you, but fuck.
Well, I mean, part of it.
But it's like it's based off of like old ass fucking scripture that nobody is alive that fucking wrote that shit or knows about that shit.
Icelandic is the closest language we have to the Old Norse that was spoken. But for a lot of those words, a lot of them are meant to be said, kind of like you have like rocks in your mouth, kind of like mumbling over the words. And it works way better with Haim than Heim.
I can kind of see that.
Like, think about like Svartalfheim. It sounds way better than Svartalfheim.
Svartalfheim.
Like, it rolls a little bit better.
Maybe it's the fact that I'm a German and I want it all pronounced. I don't know.
I mean, that's fair too. But no, I understand, and I figured one of you would mention that.
What is? So was Atreus technically in Jotunheim? I can't remember.
Was.
Sorry, it's been. I beat that shit in November.
I think we all did, didn't we?
In the Ironwood.
Oh, I love Ironwood. I
that
adore that place.
I hear your sarcasm.
Okay. Before you say anything, I understand why narratively it had to happen. It makes sense to me. I just didn't like playing it.
I genuinely really enjoyed it.
There were parts of the Ironwood that I liked. One of them being the fact that I really liked Angerboda.
Oh yeah, she's awesome. I like her.
Yeah, Angerboda was fucking awesome.
I loved being able to see all the murals and shit that she painted over. I thought that was really cool.
But at the same time, Atreus every 5 minutes is like, oh, I should probably go back. So fucking go, dude.
Yeah, if he had said that once or twice, that would have been fine, but he kept saying it. It's like, yes, Atreus, I would love to go back too.
I love the creation of the world serpent.
Oh,
I thought that was super clever.
Okay, the tiptoeing that they had to do to fucking fit Loki into a world, or no, they had to rearrange all of what we know of Norse mythology to get rid of Loki until a certain point in the story. Which has that happened before, James? Or is this the first time someone's like done something like that?
To this extent. To this
Loki's
extent,
like
I'm pretty
a
sure this
big
is unique
fucking
because they've
deal.
essentially rewritten the mythology. That being said, with
even the
them
stories in
rewriting
2018 were fucking all rewritten for this fucking bullshit.
Yeah, they did a really good job with the mythology in this game. I honestly thought it was really clever, like the creation of Jormungandr and Fenris. The fact that, yes, technically, like in the mythology, Angrboda and Loki, copulated to give birth to them and to Hel. Obviously, they can't do that because they're fucking kids. It'd be gross.
Well, also, how the fuck is she gonna fucking push a giant ass snake through her fucking whatever?
Magic.
But
I thought it was really clever approaching it from they're not necessarily their parents, but they did create them, or the fact Garm, which that's a whole nother thing. Garm's a figure in mythology. He's not spoken of a whole lot. He's in like one line of one poem.
Oh, so they have a lot of liberties that they could take.
Yeah, he's attributed a lot as being Fenris, just with a different name. But the fact that
he's literally Fenrir, kind of
just with his soul. Like, I thought that was a very clever way of adding Garm to the game while also making him Fenris.
Because I was a little confused when Fenrir just dies at the beginning, and I'm just like, doesn't he need to be alive?
Devastating scene right away, like emotional, like punching at the very beginning. I will say I was not entirely clear on what was happening at that scene because
it did just kind of start
trapping.
Yeah.
It did just kind of start, and he's like, "Oh, he's trapping Fenris' soul into the knife," but the soul like went up into the sky, like that.
Not some of it,
weird
not
to
all
me.
of it.
Right, but the part that you saw was it going into the sky,
Yeah.
so I did not glean onto that.
Those are the parts that Atreus didn't like.
He's like, I didn't like that he shit on the floor, so
Get rid of
get rid of that. But no, the way that they approached the mythology in this game was way better than 2018. Parts. What was that?
Sir?
McGee?
He's dead.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Those were the disobedient parts that went up into the sky.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. We didn't. He didn't need any of those.
He didn't need that shit when he turned him into, half an Empire State Building tall dog.
Yeah, one that can, rip holes between realms.
Yeah.
Speaking of realm tears, the Rift. I am so fucking bummed that we did not see what was inside of the Rift.
Like the Rift back to the World Tree? Or...
Odin's Rift.
Oh! Where you fucking need to put on the fucking Jim Carrey mask?
Yeah, I am so bummed that we didn't...
Jim Carrey.
I'm so bummed that we didn't get to see that. I've been watching a lot of God of War YouTube lately.
What would have been in there? Like, he lost his eye over it or whatever. So it's obviously some incomprehensible bullshit.
So one theory that I've been seeing that I actually really like. So Terrell, try to hold on here.
Hold
God
on
of
to your
War 2.
butts.
God of War 2. At the end of the game, Kratos kills the goddess Athena, and then she ascends to a higher plane of existence.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So the theory is that the Rift is the higher plane of existence. Just because they have like a similar color. And there's another theory like, oh, it's like a certain like primordial deity that's like leaving seeds of power, whatever. But the theory that I really like is that rift was a hole into the higher plane of existence, and Odin could not look into it without the mask because he was not worthy.
Did Athena actually go to a higher plane of existence, though?
We don't know.
Because she kind of just acts like a fucking ghost that's, like, vengeful and can't fucking pass on.
She's like a different character.
Yeah, completely different. Real Athena actually cared about Kratos.
She did. It's just
and vice versa.
Really, vice versa to a point. It's just very strange that they would introduce something like that rift and not explain anything about it when there are also things in the old games that they want to talk about that they have not explained. And like maybe because Cory Barlog didn't direct God of War 3, that was Stig Asmussen, I believe. So maybe he just has no desire to continue with that plot line. He wanted to continue kind of with what he did in God of War 2 a little bit. But it's like there's questions that need to be answered still. And it was also just devastating that we didn't get to see inside. Like I understand
it brought a pretty stupid meme though.
What was the meme? I don't know
when Odin got fucking pissed that he fucking broke the mask and he screams and it's just so out of place and just really strange.
Why did you do that?
It works for Atreus' arc, but it's just so
honestly,
it's such a tease.
As much as I wanted to see,
I mean,
inside
you don't
the rift,
need to see inside it.
I'm not mad about it.
I don't really care about what's in there.
I whatever was in there, we didn't need it.
It's not as good as the power of good old friendship
of family.
It's not as good as the power of good old family turning on family.
The cycle ends here.
Do you see what happens when family works together instead of kill each other?
Fucking Thor over here. I'm done listening to you. All right, get fucked then.
There's another theory regarding the higher plane of existence and Thor.
You think Thor is now fucking Athena in the higher plane of existence?
So in God of War 2, Athena's body kind of dissolves similar to the way Thor's does. A green mist, but Thor's is blue mist. Yeah. But in the Norse games, all the gods' bodies have just been there. Like they didn't do anything weird. Except for Baldur's at the end of God of War 2018.
No, I thought all the Greek gods just melted in some weird way.
Well, I mean, Ares exploded.
Athena exploded. Zeus exploded. Poseidon turned into water and exploded.
Well, I guess he did the lightning thingy.
I thought that was just because they have so much power that when they died, it just fucking went everywhere.
Right. But I mean, in the cutscene though, Athena's body does kind of just dissolve.
It does, but it's also a pre-render. It's also a pre-rendered cutscene, so we don't even know.
Right. But in Ragnarok, Thor's body does something similar. He vanishes.
And nobody else had, yeah.
And nobody else had. So there's a theory that Thor is now in the higher plane of existence. At the end of his life, he became worthy. Which I don't know if I necessarily like that part of it, but I just want to know more.
Well, we're
wait for Kratos to go kill the Egyptians.
I feel
they showed up in some of the comics, Egyptian gods like Thoth, but we haven't seen it in game yet.
As cool as it would be, I don't think they should just keep jumping from pantheon to pantheon. Like the reason it was super cool is because Kratos' story ended like 10 years or 8 years ago. You know, when by the time 2018 came out.
Was it? Oh, it was, yeah.
So it was like kind of like, oh, they found a way to keep it going, but it's like, oh yeah, we're just gonna fuck up this place, we're gonna fuck up this place, and we're gonna fuck up this place. You know, it's just a little silly. That
being said, I like what they've done with that so far. With Tyr having visited all these places, he has like relics and artifacts from all these places because he was trying to spread peace across the planet, basically. So I liked that idea way more than, oh, time to go fuck up the Egyptian pantheon, time to go fuck up the Shinto pantheon.
You know what would be really, really cool, actually? In my personal opinion,
What's
you
that?
can choose to disagree.
Oh,
I
can
want
we?
I want a Loki game.
Oh,
I
like an
want
Atreus
to
game?
follow Atreus. I want to follow Atreus after the ending of this
I
game.
don't.
I
I don't.
see,
Only
I wanna
because the
see where he
gameplay
went.
was boring. But I'm sure they could always fix that. But
They'll fix it. They'll
Yeah.
probably make the shooting better. They'll give him like a better melee option.
he was obviously or not an afterthought, but he was obviously he was Robin. He was Robin and Kratos is Batman.
Right, he's the sidekick. Even once you got Ingrid, it's like he's gonna get a weapon.
No.
She just
No,
does
it's
its own
it's
thing.
it's Lightning Freya.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I feel like that'd be a
think
better way to continue the
that's
story.
the
Yeah.
direction they should continue the story, because I am genuinely curious on what he's going to do now that he's going on his own.
And plus, if the longer they
I wanna
the
know what
longer they
adventures
keep
he's going.
Kratos in the picture, the less I'll care about Atreus because he's Atreus, and the more I'll care about Atreus because Kratos cares about Atreus.
right. And I think at this point, Kratos
We know him well enough, and Kratos is he's a good boy now. He's fine.
right.
Kratos is going to rebuild Midgard and become a god worth worshipping.
Or maybe
There
not.
are,
Or maybe not, because fate's not set in stone. But what if it is? But what if it isn't?
It's not set in stone, but it's set in wood.
Oh,
And wood is better than stone.
It's
wood can be set on fire.
it was painted on wood. It was not written in stone.
But
There
it
was no
was. But it was.
varnish
But it was.
Ah,
No, remember in Jotunheim, it was written in stone.
Yeah, he's got a point.
Shit, he does got me.
But it
down.
was broken
Yeah.
stone. Therefore, wood is better than broken stone, but stone is better than wood. I don't
There
know what the
are
fuck we're talking about.
there are theories that because it in game apparently it's been a very long time since the catastrophe of Greece that Greece has been rebuilt at least a little bit.
I'm sure it has been. People are still alive there. They're gonna do something.
Right. But there's a theory that I saw that actually I like the idea of. So after the events of God of War 3, everything kind of resets in the Greece lands. A lot of the dead come back to life. The theory I saw was Kratos' daughter, Calliope, came back to life. She helps rebuild, and she becomes the queen of Greece. And imagine if Atreus, older Atreus, went to Greece to see his father's lands, and he's like, oh, I feel some sort of connection to this queen. And she's like, my daddy Kratos. And he's like, hold on a sec.
Respectfully, James, that sounds dumb as fuck.
Did you just say Daddy
No,
Kratos?
only because I could believe some of the dead coming back to life due to the fact that all the gods are out of disarray and the world's got to fix itself, but only for the ones that died within the day and a half that God of War 3 takes place. Calliope's been dead for fucking 15 fucking or 10 years. I don't know.
Okay. It was 25 years, I think.
Was it? God damn. Because he served the gods for 10. And then.
He was God of War for 13 or 14 years.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But, I mean, yes, but you could also argue maybe because she was in the Fields of Elysium, essentially heaven,
Was she?
maybe those souls get brought back. Meanwhile, the other ones just kind of vanish.
Counterpoint, he did not lose all the ashes off of his skin, so therefore she could not have completely reincarnated.
I think that's just.
Because because the ashes are still
I think
on
the
his body,
ashes
so-
fading are just him forgiving himself.
I mean, it could also just be time.
I mean,
I view it more as just time.
It could be, but in the original games, there's no way Kratos ever would have fucking forgave himself for what he did, even during his murder boner rampage for Zeus. But now that he had a new family and he's learning new values in life and that different things matter,
Remember,
I mean,
though,
it
end
makes
of God of
sense.
War 3, he did forgive himself and he unlocked
A little
the
bit.
power of hope.
A little bit.
But no, I don't think there's any significance to like the ashes on his skin fading. I think it's just
It's just because he's
time
fucking
passing, they're
old.
wearing off. Yeah, I think it's just wearing off.
All the
Like, they're
dead
just
skin cells are just
breaking
fucking
apart.
trying to fucking get out of him.
Right. Like, imagine though if like Calliope does come back to life and just half of his ashes just disappear. He's like, wait, what the fuck?
He's just fucking brown man on one side, Ghost of Sparta on the other.
Calliope. It's
Fucking dumb.
I like the theory just from like a fanboy perspective.
Yeah.
Do you think Atreus is going to be able to grow a beard nearly as good as
Well,
Kratos?
genetics dictate that there's definitely a chance.
I mean, Norse people are
Yeah.
very heavy, very hairy. Kratos has a beard. Deimos has a beard.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just makes sense.
Can we talk about the dwarves
Yes.
No,
now? I really
Yeah.
want to talk about the true villain or the true
The true hero of Svartalheim, I guess, because he's a dwarf.
No. Well, yes, but also no. The person who now needs to go on this whole arc
Sindri.
that Kratos just did is Sindri. Sindri is the true villain
I don't.
now.
I don't. You know what? I don't think he ever will, because he valued his relationship with his brother.
More than like anything.
More, I would say more than Kratos valued war, being a Spartan.
Honestly, Sindri valued his brother more than he genuinely actually cared about his brother. The fact that he like kept the soul pieces thing secret from him and literally like gave up their relationship in order to like keep that secret. Like it's family. It's never going to be entirely rational, but he definitely
Is a little
like
irrational.
will never recover. Like I don't think he's ever going to recover.
And honestly, the question I wanted to pose from that, should he?
I don't think so. I think
I
Because
don't think he will.
what he did to his brother, when you really boil it down, is fucked because his brother is now gone. He didn't get to go to the afterlife.
Yeah, he's completely gone.
I think he will. I
He's
think he
just
will
gone.
never recover because he will never blame himself for what happened. He will always blame Atreus and Kratos. He will never have that self-reflection that even Kratos has.
That being said, that was so heartbreaking. Sindri's like you just take and take and take and take. It's like, damn, you're right. Like,
I'm not saying that he was wrong. I'm just saying he was looking at it wrong because
In the worst way.
realistically,
Because he wanted to delay the grief from losing his brother, and then when it happened again, it was even worse this time because he has no afterlife now.
Exactly, but that's not Atreus's or Kratos' fault.
That's
it's not.
Brock's
Brock
dumbass
and-
fault
Brock
for
and
fucking
Sindri
dying
let
the
them into
first
their
time.
home.
It's
Yeah,
Sindri's
for bringing
fault.
him back.
And to be fair, Brock came to accept that, and I thought Brock's death was really beautiful in a way
Oh, that whole
because he
scene.
came to
Mwah.
love.
He came to accept it, and he forgave him for it, even though he knew that meant there was no afterlife for him. And you could tell that when he first found out that he was, a walking dead man, that it genuinely fucked with
Kratos
him.
really,
It did.
but
And he
Kratos really helped him when he needed it in that scene.
Yeah.
Kratos is such like a fucking homie in this game. Like he's like the person
I
all
love
these people
Kratos.
need.
He is truly a father figure.
He is now. I really loved Kratos.
I'm gonna see myself out. I'm just gonna leave that there.
I really love Kratos' development. Even just like the small things, like him telling Mimir, like, you're one of the only people that I would call brother. like, oh, that's so
that
good.
hurt. That hurt. You know what I mean? That genuinely fucking hurt.
It's. I mean, Kratos is so fucking. Everything about him is so built up. His entire life, he hasn't had one good relationship. Not a single.
He hasn't. And he's opening up, and it's so sweet. It's honestly like adorable sometimes, like with Lunda.
Oh my god, dude, she's thirsty.
She is thirsty, and she's like, "So you want me to stop calling you a beefcake?" And he's like, "No."
No.
Okay. So I guess now we should talk about maybe like the tier reveal. Because that is directly related to Brock and Sindri.
I love the type of villain they went with, or they made Odin.
I love
him because it's not
it's
not just Zeus again. It's
not just Zeus again.
I would say
he's a lovable bastard.
I would say he's a little worse than Zeus.
He's a tech CEO. He is a Silicon Valley CEO who pretends to be all buddy, but is the worst fucking person on the planet. I absolutely fucking hated him, and that's why I love him as a character.
He is Tim Cook?
he is Mark Cerny.
No, he
is Jeff Bezos?
Everyone hated... Yes. and that's why I hated him. Is because they had essentially made him a Silicon Valley sleazeball.
Because
they did.
Who I everything's business, it's just business. But gabagoo and all this fucking bullshit.
Okay.
And that's what made him a fantastic villain. Because I wanted to seek him out just to crack his neck.
The difference between him and Zeus, bro. Oh my god, so good.
I have a very serious question for you guys. Did either of you see the twist coming?
I don't know.
Genuinely, no.
Because I did not get spoiled.
I had a suspicion.
I did not get spoiled for it, and
I did not either.
I felt like I had the suspicion, obviously, when you were supposed to, when Brock did, but, obviously that doesn't count, because that's right before it fucking happens.
That's the reveal.
Yeah, yeah. No, I actually did not even fucking think about it.
I didn't either. That's the best sort of twist, one that is super fucking obvious.
But
it
makes sense. It's not just out of nowhere, but you wouldn't even think about it.
Agreed. I started having thoughts maybe
when he started calling Atreus Loki.
Yes.
Yeah, and honestly, I absolutely buy that. Like that, it was a little weird, but because it was too strange. It was off-putting for someone who is literally supposed to have never met him to just be like Loki. It's like, the fuck you mean? And then as soon as Atreus went to Asgard, and that's when I started drawing the conclusion, but I never fully suspected it. You know what I mean?
One thing that could kind of throw you off, I think, is when they're in I think Niflheim, when they get the last mask piece, and what is her name? You know her name.
Who?
Thor's wife.
Sif.
Yeah,
Thor's
Sif.
Wife or Thor's daughter?
When Sif shows up and says that Heimdall died, and Odin gave zero fucks because he already knew, like.
I mean, that's also Odin's character, though. Like, he didn't bat an eye when he killed Thor. When he killed Thor.
It's like what McGee said. He is the Silicon Valley CEO. Everyone is a pawn to him, and the only thing he cares about is the value that they could bring him. That's all he cared about.
That is
all that matters is what they bring to the bottom line. You either help the bottom line, or you're a problem, and you need to get the fuck out of the way. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and that's why I fucking hated him.
I thought,
And I can't take the full credit for that because fucking Aiden mentioned that when he heard him talk.
He's like,
then
bro,
it
is that
just
is that
stuck.
Mark? Is that Mark Zucky?
Mark Zucky long time.
yeah, the reveal was super well done, and there's a lot of hints to that. You could always, I kind of interpreted Tyr calling Atreus Loki, kind of like a, this might sound a little crass, might sound like a transgender type way, like that is, maybe he's trying to respect that Atreus probably wants to be called Loki.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you can look at it that way. I can see how you can look at it that way, but it's also, just Odin in actuality just slipping.
But the thing is, he never really introduced him. Like
he never,
Atreus never introduced.
All
himself.
Atreus would ever say was, "Oh, I am Loki," but he would never tell anyone to call him that. Obviously, Kratos didn't give a fuck. He was Atreus. He didn't care.
Right.
You are Atreus.
That was pretty good. And that's entirely fine. That's just the way I took it. The whole like, oh, him sleeping in the fucking like broom closet because there's a crow in there that can zap him to Asgard.
How the fuck? Oh my god! Because after the fucking beginning, there's only one crow that we ever see.
Yeah.
Oh
and
my
there's
fucking
usually
god!
two.
Yeah.
Hugin and Moonin. I will say the tree in Niflheim, the bird tree, was so creepy.
Why? Because they're just talking the whole fucking time. Their fucking just souls are just stuck there.
New father, new mother. It's like, whoa.
Calm down, you little orphans.
So the tier reveal, I was fairly stoic throughout most of my time playing it, partly because like my girlfriend was sitting next to me through a lot of it. But like when that reveal happened, like I dropped the controller. I went like, like partly from like the reveal and partly because fucking Brock got stabbed, and I love Brock. Like couldn't have happened to a better guy, unfortunately. And it did feel so like out of nowhere. But they did a very good job trailing it out. Like, yes, these are the hints.
And I love that it just comes to the fucking top of the mountain because the dumbest guy in the room put it together in front of the dude that thought he was the biggest fucking like hottest shit in the fucking
in front of everyone. In front of Mimir, who is like the smartest man in the world.
Well, he's also Mimir's a little dumb too.
He is a little dumb.
Speaking of him being dumb, did you ever do the fucking dragon tracking quests or whatever?
No, not yet.
There's a thing where there's a giant footprint, and Mimir literally says like big footprint, and then Kratos just goes smartest man alive.
I did do that because as soon as you said that, it unlocked like a core fucking memory. I'm just like, I just remember laughing my ass off. Smartest.
Oh, also
man
he can't be the
alive.
smartest man alive because he doesn't know what olives are.
What the fuck is an olive?
Yeah, that fucked with me.
I didn't even know those were from
remember
Greece.
though-
Straight up.
Remember though, he's not alive.
Oh, I guess. Yeah.
I will say, kind of going back to what we were talking about, like the side dialogue, talking about the Ivaldi's poems, how Kratos is like, no, I hate poetry, there's no use to it. And then Mimir's like, isn't that a poem from your homeland that you love? And Kratos is like, yes, there is one. It's like, oh, that's so cool.
Well, he was also
Like-
a Spartan, so he probably would have limited interaction, or he would see the arts of the rest of Greek culture as kind of a waste.
Right, even the poem, I don't remember what it was, but it was a very practical poem, I believe.
Something that's actually useful.
Yeah. Well, then, like, Mimir told him, like, a story, and at the end of it, Kratos got a laugh out of it, because it was about, like, men being crazy over women or something, and because it's like something like very real.
Mm-hmm.
And even Mimir's like, yeah, it's because like, of course I got a laugh out of you. I knew it would. God, there's
the side dialogue
side
carries.
It's one of the best parts of the game, and unfortunately, that is also one of my issues with the side dialogue. Is that's like the only part of the fan service that we got. It was all in the side dialogue.
Never in the main game.
Never in the main game.
Well, there was a little bit with like Demos. Dude, when he name dropped Demos, I felt validated for playing a PSP game. Like straight up.
Right. Because he was barely mentioned in God of War 3. He was
he even mentioned?
You should have chosen the other one.
Oh, that's it? That's all?
That's it. He was mentioned in God of War Ascension.
Technically in the bonus features of God of War, in the very first one.
That got changed, though.
I guess, yeah.
Oh, I guess for Terrell's benefit. So, as kids, Kratos had a brother named Deimos, also fathered by Zeus. He was taken by Athena and Ares when they were kids. Ares fucking smacked Kratos and gave him the scar over his eye. And because Deimos has like a birthmark going around his body.
Yeah, that looks exactly like Kratos' tattoo, which is why he got it in that style.
To remember his brother with. Because there's a prophecy about a marked warrior destroying Olympus, so Zeus wanted to counteract that. So Deimos got taken into the domain of death, and in God of War Ghost of Sparta on the PSP, Kratos goes and saves Deimos, but he ends up dying at the end of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know any of that.
Yo, straight it is pretty sad when Deimos dies, because it's the first time Kratos actually...
devastating.
Kratos gets sad, bro. And that's weird to see, but that's pre-God of War 2 Kratos, too.
God of War Ghost of Sparta is such a good fucking game. Like, the whole ending, so, there's this cliffside that's very prominent in the old God of War games. Kratos carries Deimos up there, where there's a gravedigger and he's digging a grave. And at the end, Kratos is like, by the gods, what have I become? Like, it's so good. You know, Terrell, if you really want to know about all this, there's a fantastic video series on this channel called Internet Nobodies.
You know, there's this fantastic... I fully believe that there's this fantastic series on this channel called the Internet Nobodies, but I also feel like I've looked at them.
They're not that good.
God, they're just so long.
No, honestly...
Because it's practically watching the game through all its cutscenes like a fucking movie, and then there's this really annoying guy that just talks for about 45 minutes at the end.
Well, there's also two other jackasses on the channel that want to do like 3-minute long videos. It's really weird. Hey. Like, want to talk about phoning it in? Fucking A.
You want to talk about phoning it in? Phoning it in? Fuck you. We're making it digestible.
Goddamn. You had 3 weeks to work on one of those videos. You waited till the last second. You're like, 3 minutes is good.
That was mostly what Matthew would do.
I mean, those videos did get long in the tooth. I acknowledge that. Ooh, actually, so speaking of Ghost of Sparta, the PSP game, I talked to Matthew about this a little bit. Because I basically just throw all my just mind fart bullshit at Matthew regarding, like, Devil May Cry and God of War.
Yeah.
Understandable. He can understand and add to the conversation.
Right, like, I'm not trying to be rude here, Terrell. It'd be worthless trying to tell you that shit, because you'd just be like,
here's the thing. If Sony would, re-release the fucking games, this wouldn't be an issue.
In an official capacity, yeah.
Because, I'll admit, sometimes emulating doesn't fucking work as well as you want it to.
Yeah.
And look how well the emulator works for the Xbox Series systems. Jesus
fucking
Christ.
retro-
Oh, they work great. Like, honestly, that's part of
What
the
do you-
reason I want to get an Xbox Series X, which would be so fucking worthless, but I want to.
No, the for like the original Xbox.
Oh,
and
you're
the
talking.
Xbox
Okay,
360
you're talking
games.
about.
Oh,
that,
you're talking
okay.
official.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about fucking putting
the
RetroArch on the
official-
damn Xbox.
Because RetroArch
No,
and Dolphin
no.
work
I have-
extremely well.
I am annoyed. I'm trying to get Dolphin to work on my Wii U. That's another topic
No, dude.
for another time.
Well,
Anyway,
just get an Xbox. It'll do it way better.
I have an Xbox.
You have a Series X? Do it. It's literally just go into developer mode, and then you just install it.
No. I want it on my Wii U. God
The Wii
damn
U
it.
is dead. Let it die. Let the past die.
No. I refuse. I will collect the entire Wii U collection.
You enjoy your weird fucking rounded discs then.
I will. And you're not allowed to look at them. Anyway, I personally feel if they could, Sony could easily make one that can play all of those games. They could easily make an emulator. The PS3, maybe they have to look to the community to see how they got the PS3 emulator working, but damn it, they can do it.
Even if they just
have
had
the
it,
R&D money.
even if they just had it for everything up to PS3, like, so PS1, PS2, PSP, like, that'd be way better than what we already have. Which is
And then they
nothing.
could come out with their official competitor to fucking Game Pass and just win.
Or
They would just win.
I have a solution that I have proposed about Nintendo before. Just put the ROMs on a fucking website and let us buy them.
That too. Like, I would
also
drop
work.
money on just easy to use, easy to download, secure download
Legally
ISO files.
legally obtainable fucking ROMs? Yes.
Yeah. Ones where I don't feel like I have to do a full scan of my computer every time I download them.
Ones that I don't want to have to go to probably the sketchiest website on the internet
Be-
and then have to download it through BitTorrent.
Because fucking
Exactly.
Sony obviously interested in putting their cinematic games on fucking PC, but they're not going to do anything with their fucking legacy catalog.
And that comes down to the fact that new director of
He doesn't
Sony
believe in
Interactive,
old games.
He's like, why would you want to play it? It looks so bad.
That's the worst part.
That's literally
all
a
you
quote.
need to do to preserve a game is put it on PC, and no matter what breaks in the future, the community's gonna fix it and keep it going.
And even then, like, a lot of, especially like PS2 games clean up very well emulated. Like, God of War 1 looks really good. God of War 2 looks outstanding when you emulate it.
You know, if the fucking emulator wants to hold a stable frame rate, but that's, you know.
That's another issue.
I've noticed that the 6th generation of consoles really holds up.
It's
quite
because they're
well.
not going for realism. Or not yet.
Not yet.
7th gen looks ugly as fuck.
A lot of them do. You know, it's kind of explain that to the girlfriend.
Just
like,
to make sure. The 6th gen is the
Yes.
PS2, right?
yes.
PS2,
Okay.
Xbox, GameCube.
Because yeah, all of those games absolutely clean up fantastic. GameCube game, well, unless they were just shitty. But GameCube games, PS2 games, original Xbox games, they clean up so nice.
Honestly, most of the a lot of the good GameCube library still looks good, better than a lot of like the official like Switch games that are coming out.
Well, definitely Switch ports. Nintendo still kind of has a little bit of magic in their fucking department.
Kind of. It depends. It does depend on the game.
I will admit I have looked at the gameplay and shit for Metroid Prime Remastered. That looks more like a fucking remake. It looks like they just went in there and went, we're going to make this
Well,
clean.
that's because they actually, held on to the source code, so they just recompiled it and changed shit as needed. It's not being
So,
emulated.
Terrell, when are you
wanna
going to
know
make a
what's-
new video about Metroid Prime?
Metroid Prime Remastered.
Actually, I have it ordered. As soon as it comes in physically, I'm gonna sit down and play it. I'm gonna put every other game I'm playing on hold, and I'm gonna sit down and play it.
Are you sure about
You heard it here first. You have heard it here first.
Because I know damn well you're gonna get lost, and then you're gonna just not. You're just gonna be like, "Fuck this." Dude.
Well, there's the hint system.
There is the hint.
By the way, I think we should probably cut it because we have stopped talking.
Yeah,
about
we kind of have.
But just for the video's sake, I am going to sit down. I am going to play it. I'm gonna probably have to pull up a guide to help me in some parts, but I am going to do it.
Okay.
I'm going to give it another shot.
All right. So let's get back to God of War.
Yeah, let's have James do some work. He should upload the unedited version in like a Google Drive link in the description, and then he should actually edit this one and have it only be about God of War.
Nah. Like, I'll cut out some of like the dead space, but there's not. What more do you want to?
What more do you want to talk about God of War?
I mean, it's good.
There's still a lot. And I still have shit that we've not talked about.
Okay, shit. Okay, yeah. Lead.
Fucking lead.
Well, quit talking about fucking Metroid.
You are the one who said you didn't know how you want to structure this video.
The Metroid Prime Remastered
Lead
Power
the video.
Hour.
Lead the conversation.
Oh, so it's my fault.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's my fault the three of us have the fucking attention spans of children.
Yeah, because you're a fucking...
Yes, and I am hungry.
You're a mother bitch that fucking left us, okay? So it is entirely your fault.
I abandoned you.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the gods of Olympus did to Kratos.
Sing with me, sing for me.
This is why your videos are so long in the tooth. It's because you can't hold a thought longer than a squirrel.
Or I hold thoughts way too long.
He hoards them.
Well, hurry up and start talking about the shit you want us to talk about.
Okay. So this is a small thing. The drop near spear, I told this to Matthew. The drop near spear I felt was lessened by the Arms of Sparta existing. The Arms of Sparta being a weapon from God of War Ghosts of Sparta. Which was literally a multi-use thrown weapon. So basically they just took that idea and just copy-pasted it into
Yes, James,
Ragnarok.
but as I had explained, it had magical properties because it's a video game.
It is a video game, but you know what? It still matters, alright?
It's a boring answer, but it's an answer we're getting.
Here's my argument. Fuck you. Drop near spear good.
I'm not saying it's bad.
He's just saying that the idea is not original.
Okay, it's a fucking ring that turns into a spear in your hand. It's cool as shit.
You know what?
And
it's for all the little bitch babies that didn't play any of the old games, and they're like, "Oh yeah!"
You know, that wouldn't be a problem if Sony would let us play it.
Oh god, not
shut
again.
Up. We just got off the tangent. Anyway, I personally feel, while I understand what you're saying, that it's not an original idea, who cares?
Yeah, it's a video game.
I care.
You will have a sad life.
I do.
Oh, something that did bother me...
My car accident was nothing compared to fucking the Arms of Sparta existing.
The fuck?
But the fact that you can literally just spear, chuck, and then make the fuckers explode on each other.
It's satisfying.
Funniest shit I ever seen. It's so satisfying, very helpful, and even if it is an idea from an old game reworked into this one, at least it makes sense. They saw it through to the end and explained how you get it and literally showed you where it all came from and all that shit.
I will say, I do like the idea of the drop near spear popping enemies, like pop, pop, pop. I wish that actually did a little bit more in-game. Because, like, I don't know, maybe I've just been playing, like, too much Devil May Cry or something, but, like, if I throw my entire ammunition, essentially, into an enemy and I pop them all, I want the enemy to get, like, tossed into the air.
They do.
Like... Not that much, though.
Well, once you start doing the Surtur challenges and bosses, they don't.
So
it just doesn't feel like it has as much impact, like oomph, as I want it to.
Also, I noticed this in my playthrough. It does matter on where you throw the fucking spear.
It does. Of course it does.
If you
it
throw it in
matters
their
where you
head,
throw
they
the
are not
axe,
going to
too.
pop. They're not going to pop up into the air. You have to throw it at their leg and then throw it at their head and then throw it at their chest, and it does a lot more.
Right. Yeah.
There is thought there that you need to actually do.
There is thought. I just feel like it not doing more.
Sounds like a skill issue to me.
I mean, maybe.
It sounds like James is just
Yeah,
getting worse at games in his old age, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. Matthew was the one that's like, I got some spicy shit to say. You haven't said dick so far.
Yeah, where's your spice? I've been the most spicy.
Oh, well, that's
here.
because you're coming in here with hatred in your fucking veins.
All of this thoughts burning in my head. Arm on fire, veins burning red. What was
Okay,
I
here. No, you want a spicy take? I fucking despise the RPG mechanics.
That's not spicy.
It's not
I
spicy?
feel like that's pretty normal.
I actually
There's a reason
second
why
it.
they tamed
I
it
think
down.
they overdid it. I felt like it was overdone.
I feel like it wasn't nearly as prevalent as it was in 2018.
It wasn't as bad.
Like, they toned it down.
But after playing the fucking original games, which it's not my fault they made better games back in the day. I'm just saying. But I think skill-based combat, like in the original God of Wars and Devil May Cry, I think it's just better than RPG bullshit. No, Souls is still a little bit of RPG.
It is, but I mean, you can beat the game on Soul Level 1 if you're good enough.
Yeah. The reason I think they put those RPG mechanics in is because a big complaint of the older games is you could just press square, square, triangle and beat the whole game, which on normal and easy you can. But
right, and that does speak to the detriment of the game with the whole wanting to be one-shot camera. Mm-hmm. Because if you have to open the fucking menu every half hour to change your armor, that completely defeats the purpose of one-shot camera.
Really, though?
I absolutely agree.
Like, it's so unintuitive.
Especially when there's
menus.
when there's so many upgrade materials that are slightly like different in terms of names. So you think you pick something up, you go to get it checked out, it's not the right material. So you got to go out, you got to fucking do another quest for the material, and then you get it, you upgrade your armor by 1 level, changes no stats basically, and then you go and you find a better armor set that uses the same material that you just spent.
Yeah, The menus in this game are not very well designed. They're so fucking, like, clunky.
I absolutely despise the fact that all games now have to have RPG.
Even if they're not RPGs.
If it is AAA, it has to have some level of RPG mechanics. You have to have some sort of upgrade progression tree that is tied into like 3 different elements. Why can't it be I got better at the game, so I unlock new move?
Oh yeah.
What game doesn't have that?
What?
Devil May Cry 5.
You know what game does have that? you know what game does have that system that McGee just explained? God of War, God of War 2, God of War 3, God of War Ascension, God of War Ghost of Sparta, and God of War Chains of Olympus. You get better.
What was he even saying? I was not paying attention.
you get better and you unlock new moves. That's literally.
You get skill
that's
point.
literally. That is literally the fucking. That is literally the upgrade progression of the old games.
Yeah, you get You get essentially experience from enemies. You put that into weapons. Your weapons get stronger, and you get more moves.
And the higher your combo, the more orbs you get.
That's what I want. That's what I want to come back.
Are we gonna have to do like
worry about armor and all this shit?
Are we gonna have to do a Devil May Cry Power Hour with Terrell, where we just like just watch him play through the God of War games?
Dude, I'll do it.
I mean, they're not bad. I personally think the first one's the best out of them, but that's just me.
Yes.
Technically,
yeah.
we would have to blur it because it's no longer safe. For
Oh yeah, you can't fucking show the intro cutscene anymore.
Yeah.
Nope.
Because of a stupid
We can
meme.
just cut that. That's easy enough.
And it did. No, just put the picture of the koala up on the screen.
But no, I mean that'd be easy enough to do. And the games aren't that long.
Oh no,
Like,
God of War casually you could beat in 6 hours or less. It's very short.
yeah.
My point in that rant was I don't like this is how AAA games are going. I don't like having to worry about all of these different things, all of these different armors, customization. Like, I get it. It's cool. I like it in my RPGs. Stop turning everything into it.
Maybe they won't do that anymore because Elden Ring came out and pissed off a lot of video game developers.
Which is weird to me because I don't think Elden Ring
you're gonna
is
have
all
to
that good.
elaborate.
Well, because Elden Ring is like, it's a Souls game, so it's an RPG, right? But it was super mainstream. And the whole thing with Elden Ring is it pissed people off because it didn't hold their hands. It didn't give you, like, shitty, like, plus 2% damage towards Draugr and fucking dragons and Dreki and bullshit. Like, it was just a old school, I say old school, but you know what I kind of mean. It was like it's an action RPG, and it didn't give a fuck. It wasn't like a hybrid of, here's your movie. Put little Timmy in front of the TV so he could watch the bald man, and then it's like, okay, here you go. Fucking min-max your bullshit so you could two-shot people.
I just really wish Elden Ring was better, just in general.
I mean, I like it. I like it.
We'll have to have this guy. Yeah, we'll have that. We'll have
I
that
like it, but I
conversation
can't.
later
It's
after I
really
beat it.
hard to fucking replay it because it's so long. It's the same problem as God of War.
I tried to play it again, and I just couldn't do it. But then I went and I played through Dark Souls 2, which is not a good game.
Hold up.
At least.
Hold up.
No. We're getting on a tangent.
No.
Stop.
I need to hear what Matthew has to say. Hold on.
Stop.
I have to say something. Dark Souls 2, worst game, best game. That's all I gotta say.
Better than Elden Ring. Oh shit. Because I can actually get through most of Dark Souls 2.
Sounds like a skill issue to me.
Shit through Elden Ring.
Back on topic, though.
Yeah, skill of the developers.
Oh no, that's kind of sad because I actually am getting through Elden Ring.
Elden Ring's good. Don't worry about it.
So,
Elden Ring is
James?
fine. Just being honest, though, the other games are better. Oh, what?
You may want to go through and beat it out of spite, just because. How painful would it be if I were to go through and beat a game like that?
I know a game harder than Dark Souls, which was supposed to be our 1,000 subscriber special.
Honestly, that's fine. I don't fucking care. I have such a finite amount of time to play AAA games that I would rather spend it on games that I actually like to play.
Oh my god, you sound like a fucking YouTube commenter. What happened to you? How's retirement, old man? Jesus Christ.
Oh, my back.
Stop making everything a fucking RPG.
Yeah, it is getting really annoying. It makes me not want to play actual RPGs because of this bullshit.
Not everything needs a crafting system.
Is,
not everything needs to be an RPG.
Mm-hmm.
When it's done well, and and that's what it's set out to be. Perfect.
But when it's a fucking Frankenstein of video game genres, it's.
But my action adventure game with the big bald man and his half pint son who turns into a wolf.
He's a furry.
I want to hack and slash and rip and tear and essentially Doom Guy this shit, but not Doom Guy, if you feel me, without needing to worry about what armor I'm wearing and shit. For most of the game, I did not give a shit. I only would go and change it when it became harder to actually get through.
That's why you use Spartan Rage like a fool.
All right, here's a good middle ground.
I used Valor. That's why I used it, is so I wouldn't have to update my armor as often.
Here's a good middle ground. Have 3 armor archetypes, maybe one for defense, one for attack, one for life, and just have them auto upgrade as you progress through the game and get the crafting materials for it. So then you can kind of pick your playstyle, and it just does it for you.
I'd be fine with that.
And then,
but when it comes to skill points or experience to get new and cool attacks and shit, I want that. I want to be able to choose which ones I want to get at certain times. However,
you gotta level it up.
That's as far as I want to go.
I would almost be fine if Atreus' gameplay, let's say in the next game, is more RPG heavy. I would be more okay with that if they had been less RPG heavy in these ones.
I feel like if they were to do that, they would have needed to make a distinction where Kratos is more hack and slash because he's more brute strength. Atreus is more RPG because
he's not as strong.
Yeah,
so, he has to be more methodical.
But no,
right?
Every
that would have
game's
worked
an
way
RPG
better.
Now.
Yeah, but they didn't think that far now, did they?
And it's not even that I'm saying, when you play as Atreus, it's gonna fucking Final Fantasy random encounters and fucking you got turn-based battles and shit. No, just...
Ba, 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 ba. It's interesting that it seems like they didn't think very far through regarding these 2 games, 2018 and Ragnarok. Considering that both of these games, for the first time in the series, had the same director.
No, they didn't.
Cory Barlog, didn't he direct Ragnarok?
I don't believe so.
Yes.
Hold on.
I'm almost certain Cory Barlog did.
I don't believe he did.
Eric Williams. Hold on.
Was he a producer?
According to xfire.com, most recently Barlog was the creative director and the producer of God of War Ragnarok.
Okay, so he had creative input.
Yes. But meanwhile, the other games in the series, the first one was, Todd... Now... What the fuck is his name? I don't know. It was a different director for each of those games. But it's interesting that those had seemingly a more unified vision, except the first game, than these 2 did. Just weird to me.
Can you elaborate Can you elaborate on that a little bit further?
I would say
I personally think the vision for this was pretty cut and dry.
I was about to say the trilogy seems completely different when you go from game to game, as opposed to this, where this game feels like, I'm Cory Barlog Jr. Let's go. Let's tell a mature story for our Sony fans.
Well, I mean, first game, yes, because it has first game in the series.
It has first game-itis.
Exactly. But the story and the gameplay in 2, 3, Chains of Olympus, Ghosts of Sparta, not so much Ascension, they're pretty consistent between the 2. And, yes, the gameplay and stuff in 2018 and Ragnarok are very consistent because it's the same engine and the same framework. But the tone and the direction just feel so incongruous between the 2 games.
Is it because of the scope of the games being so different? 2018 is very personal, and
it's very personal.
Ragnarok
the second
is
game,
literally all 9 realms.
It's about the world's ending, yeah. Or I guess only Asgard ending, but
fuck Asgard.
I mean, maybe that could be part of it too.
Fuck Asgard.
Here to say the spark of creation or whatever the fuck. First off, makes no sense in the context of the series, but that's a whole nother issue.
Because there's
but that was
20,000 primordial fucking starts to the damn universe.
Right. Uh, but it doesn't make sense that way. But man, that was a beautiful looking location.
And then they make you
Like,
fight 2
mwah.
Valkyries like you didn't do it enough in the last game.
That was not a bad fight.
It wasn't a bad fight, but I mean, it's the same reason that like I'm glad they toned down the trolls because like I was just done with Valkyries. I still remember grinding that fucking Valkyrie Queen for hours.
Yeah. You know, even the Berserker fights essentially replaced the Valkyrie fights.
Did you fight Nya or whatever the fuck her name is?
Nah, I have not gotten to her.
She's
Cannot.
a bitch.
I bet. But so like even all the Berserker fights feel way different from each other than the Valkyrie fights all felt in 2018.
The Valkyrie fights at least felt a little fair up until the Queen. The Berserker fights near the end just start triple fucking teaming you.
That's fair.
And then
but they do feel different, and that kind of goes into something we kind of skipped over. Enemy variety.
Oh my god, it's way better. Holy shit.
Better, but still needed to be
It's
lot
way
more
okay. It's
varied.
way better, but they need to tone down with the whatever those fucking gecko lizard things were. Those are a little too prevalent.
Yes.
Oh, the wretches.
Or was it the wretches?
Were they wretches?
No, they were first. They first show up in Svartalheim. I'm pretty sure the poison spitting boys and the.
Oh, those fuckers.
Mm-hmm. There were. I felt like there was a little too much of them.
Well, and the Groot looking motherfuckers, the ones that like heal the enemies.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the fucking Moai boys.
them
The
too.
whoa.
Yeah, those ones are fucking awful. But so just in general though, enemy variety is way better.
Revenants were toned down a lot, or whichever
Revenants were
ones they
toned
were.
down. Like Matthew kind of talked about that early on when the game first came out. It was like, oh, you kind of like forget that some of the enemies exist, and you do. But in 2018, it's like, here's one of the 3 enemies of the game.
It definitely makes the Surtur trials. It makes it feel a lot more unique.
Interesting.
Yeah, because you're not seeing the same enemies in every single encounter. Which, by the way, why did they do the fucking advanced Surtur challenges the way they did? Have you guys finished them?
No,
I played a tiny bit before hopping on here.
The actual
But that was
challenges
about it.
themselves are fun, and the advanced ones are obviously difficult. I like them. But in order to unlock the advanced challenges, you have to... So you have 3 base challenges, right? You have 3 or 4 base challenges, I believe?
Right.
Okay, so to unlock advanced challenge number 1, you have to do challenge number 1 and challenge number 2, and then you could do advanced challenge number 1. But to do advanced challenge number 2, you have to do challenge number 2 and then challenge number 1, and then you unlock advanced challenge number 2.
Huh.
Interesting.
I think there's 3 base challenges, but yeah, you have to do them in different orders to unlock a new challenge. And you have to do that advanced challenge immediately after, because if you do another challenge to like try to unlock all of them, it just goes away. So it's like artificially extending your challenge playtime for no reason. As opposed to in 2018 where you beat all the challenges in a linear order and you just went back to back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah, like you could stop.
You could stop, come
But
back later,
that
and
was
keep
it.
going.
All right. So, do you guys have anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know. McGee?
Okay.
Oh, he did.
I was trying to think if I had anything.
He's thinking about food.
Really, though?
I am hungry. I'm very hungry. I've not eaten anything since early this morning.
Okay, well, I have a question for you guys. This is probably more of a Matthew question than you, Terrell, but I would still like to know your input.
Wow, that's racist.
Yeah, what the fuck, James?
I'm just very offensive like that. Nebraska's changed me.
I knew it.
How do you guys feel this game stacks up against God of War 2018? And how do you guys feel it stacks up against the rest of the series?
I gotta formulate thoughts.
No. Okay, well, I've formulated my thoughts about this.
So, my biggest comparison is going to be 8 to 18.
Right.
Because you played it.
Go figure.
Yeah, that's the one that you've played, yeah.
Correct, as you have made well fucking established. Even though I have tried to watch these fantastic videos on this great YouTube channel, but he's a little long-winded, so I had to watch him in times 2
Motherfucker,
speed.
you edited
Yeah.
the first fucking review. What?
Well, that was before, though.
That was before, and then he redid
Oh.
it, didn't you?
No.
No, he never electric boogalooed.
Oh,
No, I did that for
you
Pikmin.
should. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'll electric boogaloo it eventually if we go back to that.
Anyway, I personally think it is very, very strong and definitely improves on 18 in a extraordinarily significant amount of ways. While also still feeling like 2018, and it's a very weird problem to have.
So wait, so you're saying, so you think this game is an improvement and a better experience in 2018?
Correct. I distinctly, there has been very few games I have played non-stop.
You don't just do that? You're not like
my
me? You
life.
don't just fucking beat Super Mario 3D All-Stars because you're a fucking insane person?
Yeah, over the course of like a week and a half or whatever the fuck.
Okay. Let me rephrase.
You're not crazy like me. That's why you don't do that often.
I stayed up just about all night playing God of War.
Oh my god, wait. The bitch told me that.
What?
The fucking GameStop on fucking Kipling. I fucking went in there and she's like, oh yeah, our manager was up till like 4 a.m. That was you.
Yeah.
Well, duh.
And
Who
also,
else would it be?
she's an incredibly nice lady. Fuck you.
I never said any shit about her. I was talking shit about you.
You said she was a bitch.
No, I meant bitch as in like a person.
It was the gender neutral bitch.
Yeah, it was a gender neutral bitch. I know.
Okay.
I didn't say this bitch.
Regardless,
I said the bitch.
Fuck you. Regardless, fuck you. I played that shit almost all night. And then I got up and continued to play it. And I didn't even do that with the first, the 2018.
I did.
I enjoyed that game so thoroughly that it had me very well gripped the whole time, and it made me emotional in more sections than many games have. And I didn't even play the original 3. Or original 3 and then all the
The original
spin-offs
6,
and
you silly
whatnot.
boy.
Duh.
There's a lot.
Shut up.
And that's honestly fine. They did a really good job telling you what you need to know.
Yeah.
But the impact at the end of the game was the greatest payoff. Even though I'm not as long-term of a fan.
I mean, I don't think you need to be
as-
necessarily.
Well, I know, but I was crying probably just as much as anybody else. I got.
I mean, when you
choked up.
see fucking Kratos cry, it's hard
Cried.
not to fucking.
It was tough.
It really, like, the emotional beats and stuff in this game were more well executed, more defined, and made it more of an enjoyable experience.
Kratos is a more well-rounded emotional character in this game than like most characters I've seen in a lot of games in a long time.
I guess I do Magic now.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I don't even want to touch that game.
Do I want to know what he was
Forspoken.
referencing? Because I feel like I missed something. Oh.
Hey, you want it?
I started downloading.
Does anyone want it? I have a PC key for it for my graphics card.
You know what? I want to see how much it can melt my computer.
Oh yeah, it's got insane fucking requirements.
Jesus.
Because I have it on PS5. I started downloading it and then stopped, and I'm probably gonna go trade it in. Even though I like the gameplay.
Okay.
I like the feeling of the combat.
I guess I should answer James's question since we're kind of getting off topic again because we're great at this.
Yeah, that's what we do. We do this professionally.
Okay, honestly, because I platinum both of them, I kind of don't think super positively of either of them because the post-game content is kind of boring once you do it over and over and over and over again. But in terms of an actual like experience, like the first time I played through it, just beginning to end with the story, maybe some of like the bosses, but not necessarily like the tedious collectible bullshit. I kind of prefer the fucking the first Norse game, 2018.
Really?
Just because it's more intimate and you see a lot, like, yeah, you see a lot of growth in Kratos in Ragnarok, but I feel like you also see more. It also has to dedicate more time towards other people because it's, finishing the Norse saga and whatever. I feel like in 2018, because it's just Kratos and Atreus and then, Mimir once he shows up, it's just, it's a lot more in-depth, I feel.
I guess that's valid enough.
Valid enough?
Valid enough. You're entitled to your dumb opinion.
Oh yeah, you don't like 2018, huh?
I like 2018.
That's not what it comes off as.
Okay, so
then again, I love Dark Souls 2, and I talk shit about that game all day.
Do you have anything else to add, Matthew?
No, just basing off my first time playthrough, I prefer 2018.
So, when 2018 first came out, I blasted through it in a week, got the Platinum Trophy, really loved it. I would say back then I gave it like an 80. Like 80 out of 100.
And then your brain turned on.
And then my brain turned on. I thought about it more. I dropped it down to probably like a 7. And honestly, it might be like a 6.5 now.
Because your brain is awakened even further.
Exactly. I have all the eyes inside my brain like in Bloodborne.
Mm-hmm. Eyes on the inside.
So God of War Ragnarok, I did not go into it thinking I would enjoy it as much as I did. I feel like it improves on everything that I liked about 2018. It brought more in that I really like about the old games, like it being more mythology heavy, a little more like wide scoped. The combat was a little bit better. The traversal was even better, even though it was still pretty fucking tedious.
Mm-hmm. The boats.
The
boats.
The climbing. I feel that the existence of God of War Ragnarok simultaneously makes God of War 2018 a better game and a worse game. Better for showing like, yes, this is the way it can become. Worse because, like, man, 2018 really fucking failed in many instances.
That's just because your fucking weird ass Norse fucking long ass having ass names fucking there was less mythology. Don't fucking lie to yourself. That's why you like Ragnarok. It's got more name drops. I mean, it's got more people.
It does have more name drops, though we didn't get to see my boy Vidar other than like half a second.
Apparently, I had to look him up because they didn't even say his name.
Right. I don't even think that's Vidar. I think that's just some random motherfucker, and someone's like, I want that to be Vidar.
Let's go on the wiki.
He's going on the wiki.
I'm gonna make a quick comment.
Yeah.
That I just remembered. I'm so happy that ProZD was the fucking squirrel.
Ratatosker?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ratatosker. It made me just
It
so
was
happy.
a little distracting for me. Just
It made me so
because
happy.
I just hear his fucking YouTube skits.
I've never really watched
know,
them,
and
so that
that's-
didn't have any
I
impact
guess
for
it's
me.
I guess it's just because like if you know them more than it's just hey it's that guy because Yang Yi or whatever he voices Father Pucci in the Stone Ocean dub and I don't watch the dub but those clips are very distracting because it's just him. It's just the news guy.
We have no idea what you're talking
Yang
about.
Yi? I thought.
And
How do you guys not know who Yang Yi is? He's like the fucking. He's like the.
Did we just like break your brain?
Yeah. Hold on, I gotta send a picture of this man.
Oh no.
anyway, James, you may continue now.
I mean that's basically it. No, I guess that's only in relation to
This
2018.
motherfucker? You've never seen this man.
Where are you
Where
sending
the
it?
fuck did you send this?
Oh shit.
Where is this?
Oh! It's in the new voice chat.
It's in the
feature.
voice channel text chat.
Never seen that man before in my life.
That's
Really?
that's a thing? Oh, that is a thing.
Huh. I thought he
Never
was
seen that
just
man before in
gaming
my life.
YouTube man.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
That's very strange.
Huh. Anyways, so that was my thoughts in relation to the game compared to 2018. Compared to the classic games, I still think classic games are better. But
Oh yeah, in terms of classic games, I don't think these new ones even fucking touch them.
no, I will say though now that that Ragnarok has improved so much from 2018, I can now say that there is a valid argument for liking the Norse games more than the Greek games. As spicy of a take as that might be, I think that now there's actually an argument for that. Because it is so much better, and it's more of a God of War game than 2018
Well,
was,
I
in
thought
my
the
opinion.
original argument before was that, this game actually is, or the new game is actually better than the old ones because it's mature. It's a new mature take on the character.
That was the argument
Ugh.
with 2018. Now, I feel like you can argue, yes, this was a more quote-unquote mature story, but it's the weakest argument you can do.
I do feel like, too, that especially like classic God of War fans have clapped back so hard against the
Because they
it's
just
not as
haven't
mature."
played them. They just don't know the story.
They don't, and I feel like, especially like classic God of War YouTube, or even just reviewers and all that, general reviewers, have clapped back so hard against that argument by going so in depth with the classic games that now that's not even necessarily as much of an argument anymore. Because that was always an argument for me. It's like Kratos is always like, yes, he is very one dimensional.
In 3
but there
and
is
2,
a lot
I would
more
say.
to it.
Actually, no, mainly in 3. 3 is the bad
Mainly in
one.
3. But there's a lot more to those games than people were giving them credit for, especially motherfuckers that have not played them.
Fucking
Like one
dude,
podcast
dude,
that I
Chains
really
of
liked.
Olympus, the fucking with
Great
Calliope.
game.
You telling me that
Ghost
shit
of
ain't
Sparta.
with Demos?
Oof.
The entirety of the first God of War.
Ascension. Ascension's dealing with his fucking like madness. Like,
The argument now, I would say, for liking these ones
Graphic.
is No. Would actually be more along the lines of experiencing the growth with Kratos is a lot more relatable to a lot of people in the modern time.
Well, it's because
And that's a good
in these
argument.
new games, Kratos is bettering himself. He's not falling into the fucking depths of rage.
He is not becoming a villain in this.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, you could even make an argument he's not necessarily becoming a hero, even though he did it at the end.
Yeah. I mean, because
But
the whole arc,
he's definitely not becoming
the whole
a villain.
arc of the original games is that he starts very justifiable, and by the end, he's just doing it because he can, and he's just so pissed off that nobody can stop him.
Like, he could stop at any moment
And
in
he
the
chooses
old games,
not
he just
to.
does not. Like, he does not have to fucking go after Zeus. In 3, he could just fucking just give up, but he doesn't.
And I guess that's I mean yeah, that's why people would be more relatable, because he's not actively hurting his reputation by how he's acting.
Yeah, that whole like deeper story bullshit that people were perpetuating about 18. There's one YouTube channel I really used to like called Kinda Funny. They would talk about it, and one of these motherfuckers was like, "Yeah, I only played the first game." It's like, so you don't actually know what you're talking about, but you're perpetuating this narrative of, oh, now the story's good. It's like, there's a reason those fucking videos I did are 40 minutes long. Like,
I mean, most of it was you narrating over what was happening in the cutscene.
right.
James got the cliff notes.
Which is fair. Exactly. I cliff notes the shit out of that. But there was still a lot of good shit there to talk about.
Right.
I don't that's just a
But
just a
that
whole
would be
issue.
if not to say that that's how it would go down, but let's say hypothetically
Okay.
I were to go and play the first 6.
You only
games.
really need to play 3 if you want like the story, just 1, 2, and 3. And even then, you could probably stop after 1 if you don't like it.
Well, it's not even that. It would be I'll play them 1, 2, 3.
Oh, he's got to play all of
but-
them. You got to
You
Oh,
could play
the
all of
question
them
is,
if
Riv-
you like the 3. Jesus Christ, James.
Question is release order or timeline order?
This
Release
isn't
order.
Metal Gear, sir. Calm down.
Release order. I'm gonna do it like like Kingdom Hearts release order.
So 1, 2, Chains, 3, Ghost of Sparta, Ascension. Got it.
Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is the argument that I brought up would probably be the one I would have, because I feel like in theory I would come to like these 2 new ones more, just because I can.
Oh
more
yeah,
relate to
you'll
the
completely
story.
understand everything he's been through.
And that's entirely
Because-
valid. That is absolutely a valid take, enjoying it more. It's more so the people
The dumbasses.
Yeah.
portraying the
But-
games in such a bad light because they're not as deep or they're not as like well written or anything. And like they're
Dude, I
not,
could-
but there is a lot there.
There's a lot there, and there's a lot to digest. And same can be said for these ones, but honestly, there are some points that are shallow in these ones that I feel like the originals may have been more in depth with. Who knows?
Boy.
Oh my god.
Well, but Kratos reached out to touch Atreus' shoulder, but then he didn't.
Because it's symbolizing that he wants to get close to him, but he just isn't mentally ready. He's scared. I never would have known that if he didn't reach his hand out.
That is something this game did a lot better. Just shit like that. Like Kratos.
Oh,
I think
the
it's
fact that
just
they
because Kratos is
actually
more open.
the fact that they actually fucking talk to each other.
That they have like an actual relationship in this game. Yeah.
they
Instead of
learned
just
to
boy.
have a relationship in this game, which I liked.
Right, like the game didn't start with them having a super strong relationship or anything.
Yeah, it started very similar to
How it was. Yeah.
how it was.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Even though like a couple years passed, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a discussion for another time.
What's that? What?
The fact that zero fucking character development happened within like what 4 years, however long it was.
there was some character development, but generally their dynamic had not fully changed. Atreus had to step up to the plate and
He had to become a
actually
man.
he had to start challenging Kratos.
He went from boy to older boy.
He went from boy
Teen.
to where the fuck are you? Why did you leave for 2 days?
He went from boy to teen.
Dude, speaking of boy, when Atreus fucking smacked Sindri up the fucking head, and he went to the thing, and Kratos let out that boy, dude, that's a little scary. Like, I felt that.
That was scary. Like, I thought like Sindri was like maybe not gonna die, but he was gonna be fucked up. And Sindri was so like accepting of what had happened. He's like, I understand. Like, that almost makes the ending not worse, but hit harder because he was so accepting of like what Atreus did. But then when it comes to his brother, he's like, nope. Oh, so fucking good. Like. The writing in Ragnarok is way better than in 2018.
I mean, it is nice not to just have him calling him boy the whole fucking time and just, oh, yes, sir, yes, sir,
You
no,
know what
sir.
else was nice? Look out, fire!
Fire incoming! Watch out, brother. I will say I really like the twist they did with the line in 2018 of the
be better.
close your hearts to their suffering. Yeah, that part. And they played on that like, no, like your mother was right. Open your heart because we need to be better. That was good.
I personally would, and this is just kind of true about a lot of the PlayStation games right now. There have been a lot of like those self-improvement messages in games. The two Spider-Men, and now this one.
Who's having a
just
midlife
like-
crisis over at fucking Sony right now?
I want to same, but the be better, be yourself. All this stuff. It's like, that's nice. I needed someone to say that to me today.
It is nice. It definitely perpetuates like, oh, everyone can be a hero in their own life. Which I think that's been missing for a while in media.
Yeah, and you can always be better even if the cards are stacked against you. Kratos. He is a god of war. What does he do? He kill shit. What does he not want to do? Kill shit.
Kratos is literally stacking the deck against him.
he can in fact be better.
As much as I love seeing Kratos improve, there's always that part of me that wants to see him fucking snap.
Oh, I would love.
I would love some.
like a classic
I want some.
era God of
I
War
want some
game.
non-canon DLC where he just goes ape shit.
I want
Force
I want
Unleashed.
to I want to bring this up. And I forgot to do it, but you guys have just jogged my memory. So, you know how he kind of loses it in the fight with what's
Thor?
his name? The kid?
Oh, the kid?
No, the kid. Yeah. The all-seeing kid.
Heimdall?
Oh, Heimdall.
I want to call
Yeah,
him a kid,
Heimdall.
but
Yeah, he's
but,
definitely at least a teenager. Like,
Shut the fuck up. Anyway.
also he's a god. Like,
Shush.
I would say he only lost it
you know,
because Heimdall refused to stay down. Like, he was doing his fucking best to calm down.
I know.
Kratos did everything in his ability.
You know how Mimir was yelling, "You're better than this," and all that stuff in the background?
Yeah.
Did either of you use Spartan Rage in the Thor fight?
In the Thor fight? Aren't you allowed to? Or aren't you forced to in the first one?
I'm talking about the last one.
No,
I don't
no, I did
remember.
not. Because I don't use Spartan Rage.
Well, yeah, Matthew hates Spartan Rage, yeah.
Right.
It's not useful.
So in the last... shut up. In the last one, if you use Spartan Rage, Mimir will make a comment about making sure... he'll remind you to keep it together. And Kratos just replies with, "I know, I've got it." And I thought that was very powerful.
That sounds familiar.
Maybe he just says it in these story boss fights. Maybe not particularly Thor.
Maybe that's just normal.
But like,
maybe it just synced up for you.
Maybe, but it seemed to only It seemed to have only happened after I used Spartan Rage.
Yeah, I don't.
If I synced that up, I'm a fucking god.
That's probably exactly what you did.
Yeah, just like
if
crazy
I synced
timing.
that up, yeah, either way, it was a lot more impactful, and it's going to stick in my brain a lot better that way.
I just find it funny that after Thor got hit by a real punch from Kratos, he bounced immediately.
He's like, up.
He got hit once, and he's like, oh, fuck.
I will say Thor is probably the strongest Norse god, even in mythology.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
he's able to lift a hammer that's like how fucking heavy?
I don't know, but he also has a magic belt that helps.
Well, does he in this game? Is he wearing the belt?
I don't know if in the game, but in the mythology he does, Megan Yorth.
Well, actually, I don't even think it matters because Kratos can obviously fucking stop Mjolnir from flying at him. It's just that they didn't want him to use it because that's very cliche.
And it would be too similar to the Leviathan axe, especially because the Leviathan axe was literally made
to counter it. Yeah,
counter Mjolnir.
So maybe Thor is just closer to the strength of the fucking Greek gods.
Maybe. Because Matthew, you and I talked about that a little bit. The fact that the Norse gods don't seem all that like
they're not all
the Greek gods did. Yeah, Thor is definitely closer to the Greek gods as far as power goes. Now I really want to see like the Egyptian gods in action or something. Like where would they rank? Would they be below the Greek gods, above the Norse gods? Would they be above like the Greek gods, or I don't know. I want so many very specific questions answered in the next game, and I know they won't be.
They're not even thinking about your weird ass theories.
They're not. Like, I'm sitting here just like how does any of this work? And they're just like, all right, what's next?
Okay. I think that sums
up
everything we've had to say.
Oh, we're only at 2.5 hours.
Only.
I am going to hurt you. I am going to end you.
Have fun finding me.
Bold of you to assume I can't.
We need to dox him. I don't know how, but we got to.
Just one of you just ask me my address. I'm like, oh yeah, I live here. You're like, I found him.
I'm in.
Me? Hey, I'm coming to Nebraska. Can I come chill on a couch? Sure. I know where he lives.
I found him. Got him, guys.
Oh wait, hold on. Yeah,
addresses.
you gave me the strategy. Hold on, let me test it out.
Oh shit!
Wait.
Oh, hold on. Matthew is messaging me. Hold on. Hey. Oh, Matthew. Matthew's coming to Nebraska. cool.
Yeah, but it's addressed
Yep,
now.
I got it.
Oh, 2 hours. Wow.
Yeah,
You'd be getting here quick.
I'm fucking speed running, bro.
It's like an 8-hour drive if you speed.
No, I'm speed running. You don't understand. I'm gonna do a glitch and my car is gonna fucking go to max RPMs constantly, and I'm gonna reach. I'm gonna no clip in my car.
No, I was imagining, because of how Matthew looks at the current moment, that he was just gonna throw on a Mario hat and just go yo.
No, I'm gonna put on a
fucking
fucking.
end up at your house.
I'm gonna put on a fucking just all white robes and just fucking walk down, and just request his forgiveness, for I am Jesus Christ. I am greasy Jesus.
Christ, we've definitely lost the thread here.
Yeah, we need it. We need to go.
All right. Closing thoughts.
Yeah. Good game. Play game.
Don't platinum it.
Listen to Blood Upon the Snow. It's a very good song.
Just don't platinum it. Play it, beat it, don't platinum it. It's not worth it.
Or at least don't platinum in like 4 days like Matthew did.
Leave me alone.
Take a break.
No.
Like, I feel good the fact that I haven't really played it much in like a month. Like, it feels nice.
Well, I haven't played it since November.
Yeah, because you decided to be a fucking crazy boy.
I'm speedrunning. I gotta go fast.
That's how you get to Nebraska in 2 hours.
I gotta do it.
Yahoo!
Backwards long jump all the way there.
Spray some water on the ground and you slide.
I mean, fucking. There were some very flat parts of the United States, so I just got to take advantage of those.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. Oh, what?
If Matthew and I ever come to visit you in Nebraska, I'm forcing him to pretend to backwards long jump.
How the fuck do you even attempt that?
I don't
just
know.
on the top of the car, like backwards.
I just have to jump off the car.
And then we'll just do a jump cut to being in Nebraska.
That sounds like a great way to fucking crack my tailbone.
Yes.
Your tailbone, probably your neck.
Well, if I land on my ass.
Anyway, now
Yeah, now we're done.